Good. Wait. 4. Good sunny day, everyone. It's me, your friendly intergalactic sun prince of the sun, Enyou Solaris to Moshimas. Hopefully I said that correctly because I was multitasking and I'm famously not good at that. You can also call me Solaris or Soul 4. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I don't like to name my scenes, and I also don't like to make new scenes. I know what I am. I know what I am. Yeah, also I don't have feet. Okay. Where'd my feet go? Okay, there's my feet. And then the top of my head disappeared. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. 2. Okay. Everything's fine. Listen, I don't know how to tell you this. If you were expecting a normal anime discussion review, you are sorely mistaken. We are going to talk about Botan Kamiina fully blossoms when drunk. It's a Yuri, also. The word Yuri didn't make it in the English title, but it's right here. Don't worry about it. So, the whole premise of this show is blah, blah, blah. I already can't effing speak. How am I gonna live with myself now? The whole point of this anime is that it is cute girls do cute things, and the cute girls also date each other, and also the cute things that they do is they drink alcohol. as the name of the show implies. The show is about cute girls hanging out and drinking alcohol. So I was like, you know what? For the first time in like 15 years, and I think the first time ever for on stream, I got an alcohol. We got an alcoholic beverage. Hear that? Can you hear that? Yeah, there you go. I thought for the aesthetic that it would be good to have it. So I got a vodka's peach spritzler? Crafty cocktail? It's a peach vodka. I was like, what is the fruitiest drink I could possibly get? And this is what spoke to me. And it is 355 milliliters, 12% alcohol by volume, and it's in a can and it's cold because they said serve chilled. Am I gonna ignore the sign of my first alcoholic beverage was also peach flavored? I did not like it. I don't drink alcohol a lot because I don't like the taste of alcohol. But, and also I tried to find one of the alcohol that they actually drink in the show, but it's mostly like a lot, like it's very specific, obscure, like whoever wrote this show is definitely like drinks alcohol and is like a connoisseur of it. It smells like rubbing alcohol. Let's give it a taste. I can't breathe. Why did I inject poison into myself? It's not that bad. It's actually not that bad, really. Vodka peach. I can definitely taste the alcohol, but the sweetness of the peach really helps. Can we like be on the floor? That's fantastic. Okay. Can we like have my corporeal form like present and not cut off? Anyway, so I'm just gonna be sipping on this for a while. So if this discussion becomes more or less unhinged as it goes on, you'll know why. Because the alcohol is supposed to make you more like loose, right? But for people on my friends on the spectrum, it can sometimes have the opposite effect. Anyway, we're talking about the Kamiina Botan anime. By the way, she's Kamiina Botan. It's her, by the way. I don't know why she thinks she's the goddamn main character. just cause your effing name is in the title, think you can fucking. Anyway, so I went into this. If you remember last time on the last anime discussion, where's my Joy-Con? So I stopped pulling at my hair. My Joy-Con straps. But yeah, if you remember last time, I'm like, hey, you know, I want a relaxing, low-key, easy to watch, normal slice of life Yuri anime, and this looks like to be what that is. And then after watching the first couple episodes, I remembered, oh yeah, there is no such thing as a normal Yuri anime. Because yes, the show is okay, so the show is a slice of life with a Iyashikei focus, and it also is a Yuri at the same time. Like, the slice of life, what happens to be, has a lot of romance in it. But then the show also just gets really weird, like the farther that you get into the show, the harder that it begins to parse. Like, the first couple episodes are like, yeah, this is what I was expecting, you know, cute girls do cute things, you know, just sitting around drinking alcohol and being cool. And then things start getting weird and esoteric, and like we'll get into it. But yes, if you're looking for a slice of life with an Iyashikei focus, it does give you that. It just gives you that a lot more. And also, if you don't know what Iyashikei means, it literally means to heal. But when talking about anime, it's a type of show that is like chill and comforting to watch, like something. Because like slice of life also like that's basically slice of life, but like slice of life can also mean like comedy or wacky antics, like Lucky Star or Nichijou. But Iyashikei normally means like things are like low chill, like the vibes are chill, you know what I mean? But it is also very much a cute girls do cute things show, which someone recently was complaining was starting to like, man, they never make shows like K-On! Anymore. And I'm like, what? Have you been under a rock the last 15 years? We literally just got Bocchi the Rock. What, have you been loving under a Bocchi the Rock? Because clearly not. People just go on the internet and say whatever they want. It's crazy. Anyway. So, the main plot of the show is that, this girl who's basically the sub main character, Ibuki, she likes to drink, but she can't drink in front of others because she has trauma. Don't worry about it. But she feels embarrassed. But, Botan, you know, brings her out of her shell, you know, kind of gets out of her, you know. At the beginning of the show, you know, Ibuki, you know, not really talking to anyone, kind of keeping to herself, and then, you know, Botan comes along, and she's just a bundle of joy, and she's like, hey, you know, let's go do fun things together, and then, you know, she comes out as a very wholesome. The series starts from there, and is mostly a slice of life show, but, like, as the show goes on, it gets, like, deeper, and, like, has more focus on, like, character relationships, right? Because, like, yeah, the first, like, I would say half of the show is not, like, a romance anime at all. Like, that is not really the focus. But, like, it kind of, like, okay, so the series starts at a slice of life, and then as the show goes on, and, I just said that. What the fudge? I need more peach. I need more peach drink. But anyway, so it starts off as a slice of life show, but like slowly turns more and more into like a Yuri romance show. but still has like a lot of slice of life to it. But like it has undertones of like you're like it's so weird. It's so weird. Like the vibes and tone of this show is like something that you know, I know it's my passion and job to you know, I know I got up here to be like explain to you about anime, but like it is beyond my skill set to describe the vibes that are in this show other than like what the fudge. Like chill and intense at the same time. Like that quiet feeling of, you know, everything's fine for now, but everything's fine and chill for now, but is it gonna continue to stay that way? Probably, but I don't know what's going on. We have to address the elephant in the room eventually. So yeah, it's a very interesting, like, I know there's like been shows before in the past that have like mixed different genres together, but like it's very interesting to have a show that starts off in one genre and then slowly transitions, I said transitions to another genre. Cause like, yeah, it starts off as like Iyashikei, slice of life, cute girls do cute things. But like, as we learn more about these characters and as the characters become more familiar with each other, like their relationships start getting more and more complicated. Like at the beginning, it's like, you know, pleasantries like, oh, hi, you know, my name's so-and-so. Oh, let's drink. Nice to meet you. And then like, that's episode 1. And then episode 4 is like, do you think anyone, episode like 12 is like, do you think I understand the concept of true love? Do you think such a thing actually exists? Stuff like that. Not trying, this is the spoiler-free intro. But, you know, things like that happen. So, like, it's a very odd show. But, you know, I did like it a lot. What are you sending me? I gotta go to the space dimension. Who's typing me pictures? Okay, it's a cute picture of a cute dog. That's a very cute dog. Already having enough distractions. Already have enough distractions going on in my head. I don't need more. So yeah, that is how I would describe the show to someone who has not seen it before. It is a slice of life, cute girls do cute things show that slowly gets more of a focus on romance and Yuri as the show goes on. But it doesn't feel like it's like, oh, okay, the show's about something else now. It's like, it's slowly like progresses to that point where like most cute girls do cute things show, like the girls are at a level of friendship and they generally tend to stay at that level of friendship throughout the entire show. Again, like a show like Lucky Star or even Yuri. Yuri? What's the name of that show? Peach Drink? She's drowning the bottle can. That's it. I was trying to try to think of a saying, but I don't remember any alcohol sayings. I learned more about alcohol watching these 12 episodes than I've ever, because again, they also get like, whoever wrote this show is also like very deeply in to the alcohol culture. Like they know what they're talking about and they're very obsessive about it, and I like that a lot. Other random things, I like that it takes place in college, because most anime take place in like high school. And like, yeah, obviously it has to take place in college because, you know, it's about drinking alcohol and you need to be a legal adult before you can drink alcohol. So they can't just, you know, like that, the college setting was kind of like forced upon them, but I do like it as a choice because, like, yeah, I don't know, as someone who's been watching anime for the last like 15 years, it's nice to get a change of pace. And we get like unique outfits, because that's the thing about high school anime, is that they are just wearing the same outfit every single gosh dang episode. But here we have like unique outfits, and the show definitely takes advantage of that. Like they're wearing a different outfit like almost every episode, which is not easy to do. That is a somewhat necessary shortcut in animation, in the anime space, when you're trying to make a weekly anime. Like having to basically make a new character design every episode is not easy. So that's why a lot of anime take place in schools or have some sort of uniform. Like think like Attack on Titan. Not a high school anime, but they have a uniform that they wear all the time. Bleach too. Stuff like that. But so yeah, it is a flex to have unique outfits for every episode. Also, another interesting fact. This is just I've gone done with the overview of the show. Okay, I'm good. Everything's fine. See, that's also thematically appropriate because the reason, whatever, we'll get to that in a second. The characters hiccup when they drink alcohol, so it works. I did that on purpose. More peach drink. Okay, here's the other thing. I always complain that I get too hot in this room when I'm streaming, which is why I have the ice water. But alcohol, like, warms you up. I need more ice water. Okay, that's good. Anyway, another funny thing I found is all the characters in the show have real-life Instagram accounts for some reason. I really like when shows do that. There's been a couple of shows recently that have been doing that. But, like, yeah, if you go on their page on AniList, it links their Instagram accounts. And, like, they have pictures of, like, they go to, like, real-world locations, and they have pictures of those real-world locations on their Instagram account. Like, they go to Yamanashi in one episode, and, like, one of the characters has a picture of something from Yamanashi. So, I like lore. I like deep lore like that. That doesn't actually pop up in the show, by the way. Because most of the time when they do that, like, they're like, oh, yeah, like, they made a post online in the show, and then you can go in real life. I say in real life, on the internet, and go see that post is actually real. And that account is real. I think Licorice Recoil did that? I have no idea how to pronounce the name of that show. You know the one I'm talking about, though. Yeah, I know what the one I'm talking about. And also, if you're wondering, we are 3 for 5 of not having the opening be in the first episode, because this one has the opening in the first episode. So I think we were like 3 for 4 last time, and now we're 3 for 5, if we're just keeping count. But, you know, for a slice of life show, I feel like it doesn't spoil that. Like, oh no! Characters appear in this show! How big of a spoiler is that? And most of the characters are introduced in the, like, first episode, except for, like, one character who's introduced in episode 6, which I was a little confused about, but, you know, whatever. I don't like it for, like, things that have, like, spoilers in them, like, you know, for, like, stuff like, especially, like, Witch Hat Atelier, I think benefited from not having the opening in the first episode. But for things like this, where it's just, like, slice of life, and I'm like, okay, yeah, spoilers are not that big of a thing. I also like the opening a lot. I'll talk more about it in the discussion proper. But it has a very nice, calming, a little unique feel. What is a better word than unique? Like, off-kilter? Yeah, off-kilter feel to it, but it's still, like, a nice, calming feel to it, and it's a good opening. It was actually one of the openings I ended up not skipping very much. And also like how it looked like it was, like, filmed on an old camera, which is always fun when anime makes things look like it was recorded, like, via analog, because that is not an easy thing to replicate, by the way. Like, regular film techniques that is just like, yeah, just point a camera at it and you're good. Not super easy to do in anime. Also, I need more water. I'm feeling the peach. I'm feeling the peach, and we're not even 20 minutes into this. Okay, water good. I still have a lot of my peach drink left. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be okay. Anyway, ending is also very good. It has a painting art style, and also each episode has unique visuals. And a lot of the time, I don't know what the fuck's going on in the ending. Like, the ending tries to tell, like, a completely separate story that's, like, tangentially related to the main episode. But, like, a lot of the time, like, I don't know what the fudge is going on. Cause like there's like you get like 5 screenshots of just like a story, and I'm like, who are these? And it's like in a different art style, so I'm like, who are these characters? What is going on? It's specifically I think it was episode like 6 or something. Yeah, sometimes it's obvious, like episode 5, but episode... I'm trying to look forward in my notes and figure out what it was. But there was one episode in particular where I'm like, I have no idea what the fudge is going on. Again, I'm the professional, don't worry about it. But yeah, it is, I do like when each ending theme has like unique visuals. It's not a unique song, but it's a unique visual. But it's still like the visuals still fit the song, right? So it's fine. Okay, last thing before we end the spoiler-free intro. I just want to give a heads up because this is something that threw people a lot when the show was airing, and with the power of hindsight, I can give you a warning. Episode 2 and 3 have a completely different art style compared to the rest of the show, but only for those 2 episodes. Kind of a spoiler, but also like just good to know, like what you get when you watch episode 1 and you're like, oh, this is a pretty show, I like the animation. And then episode 2 is like, and then episode 3 is like, is this how the rest of the show is gonna look? But no, it's only episode 2 and 3 that have a completely different art style. Like the rest of the show is like relatively normal, except for the backgrounds. The backgrounds get a little weird. But the art style, for the most part, is usually consistent outside of episode 2 and 3. Which is weird that you do that so early and so close together. It's very odd. But yeah, unless anyone has any questions, that, saved from Uzumaki syndrome. Is that a Naruto thing? Please explain the joke. Explain the joke. Well, it's not really funny if you explain the joke. See, it's like a CD and like... Never mind. But I think I remember what you're talking about. Are you talking about the pain fight? Where they just had like... the show was like just in a different art style and people either love it or hate it? Oh no, a different Junjuchi Ito's Uzumaki. Hold on, I'll look it up. Shotto shabette imasu. Shirabemasu. Oh, that what you're talking about. That is not Naruto. That is the horror show. I looked it up, and one of the first articles is Adult Swim's Uzumaki looks kind of bad. Why do you give me opinion pieces on like the first page of a search query? Never mind, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I remember that like horror show that like got weird. Oh no, just like episode 1 was good, and then I remember now. Because I knew it got weird effy with the art style, but like I didn't know it was like I forgot it was like a One Punch Man situation. A One Punch Man. Do you know One Punch Man is supposed to be a parody of Anpan Man? Because Anpan Man is Anpanman, and then One Punch Man is One Punch Man. If you shorten it in Japanese. So it's Anpanman and One Punch Man. One Punch Man. Anyway, I didn't put two and two together until after I watched One Punch Man, and then I heard On Punch Man again, and I'm like, you think that's an intentional joke? Anyway, this is a drunk Yuri anime. Hey, One Punch Man had a whole season. One Man Punch had a whole season before that. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I wouldn't say it looks bad. It just looks very different. You'll see once we get into the actual episode discussion. But it just looks weird and different and, like, not like an anime, if that makes sense. Like, it does not follow the normal visual language of anime. But that it's only for episode 2 and 3. The rest of the show is, like, relatively normal looking. So, I don't know, man. Don't worry about it. I just wanted to bring that up for anyone who's on the fence of watching the show and has heard about the controversy with the art style. What was the other controversy from the series? I think that was this the show where people were mad that the author also wrote a heterosexual story? 'Cause, like, God forbid people be bi. Are we doing bi erasure here live on stream? That's crazy. Will not stand for this. I thought it might have been another series. I don't remember. People are stupid. Whatever. I'm moving on. Anyway, go watch fucking Kamiina Botan because it's really good, and it reels you in with a nice, cozy, cute girls do cute things show, and then, like, it just, as you get dragged deeper and deeper, like, the show just gets more and more, like, deep and cool and interesting. So come for the cute, stay for the drama. It's not really even drama. It's just like complex character relationships. There's a little bit of drama. Anyway, that is the spoiler-free intro. Forgot to write episodes. Because I remember, I think Tevin yelled at me for that, for saying episode 1 to 4 instead of saying episodes 1 to 4. Okay, I fixed it. When I say episodes 1 to 4, I mean episodes 4? Episodes 1 to 3. So excuse me while I go back. While I go back for a second. While we actually do the proper start of the series. Anyway, so it's very funny that the literal... I'm gonna turn up the fan a little bit. Now that we're past the spoiler-free intro. One pound man. Anyway, so the first shot, hold on, let me get a drink of water. I'm looking at how empty my peach drink is and how empty my water bottle is, and they are not equivalent, let me tell you that. So yeah, it's very funny that the first shot of this series is literally of flowers, and as we've covered previously, Yuri is a translation of lily, which is a type of flower, so there's a lot of flower imagery in Yuri anime. And they are at Mount Buko in Saitama, which is northwest of Tokyo, which is where the series, like, takes place, in Saitama. Which is, like, counted as part of the greater, speaking of One Punch Man, One Punch Man, I think, also takes place in Saitama, or the main name of the character is Saitama. Mar, you'd probably know more about than that one. Anyway, I think it's considered part of Tokyo, but it's like several fucking hours from Tokyo, and it's very different. Like, this is, look at this. Does this look like Tokyo to you? No, it doesn't. So they're like, hey, our RA or Yocho, which Yo meaning dorm and Cho meaning boss, or IE meaning I'm gonna be real, I'm passing out. I'm gonna be real, I'm passing out as well. Don't worry. There will be a stream tomorrow as well, so pass out if you need to. I can look up information on my own. One. Push, punch. Okay, the main character of One Punch Man is Saitama. That's very funny. Girl, drink! Peach drink? Ah, don't mind if I do. Anyway, Ibuki has ran off somewhere. And the other girls are like, so all the girls in the dorm, they all live in a dorm. They're out doing on a little field trip, on a little vacay, and Ibuki, the RA, has wandered off. They call her RA Yokcho, but like she never seems to do a lot of like residential advisor things. She's they just call her that. But don't worry about it. I think the only time they mention it is like when they get a new dorm member. They're like, yeah, you gotta show her around because you're the RA. And she's like, yeah, I should probably do that. Anyway. So Botan over here is like, I'll go find her. And this is the character of the hour, Botan. She introduces herself. She's like, I, Kamiina Botan, will go out and find her. Like, okay. Anyway, so Ibuki's ran off to get some alcohol, because girl likes drinking, but she wants to drink by herself because she gets embarrassed because every time that she drinks, she gets the hiccups. And why she doesn't want people not knowing about that? I guess trauma, probably. We'll get into that later. But Botan just randomly stumbles upon her, sees her doing that, and thinks that it's cute. And this seems like to be like the first real interaction that they have, because Ibuki's like, oh yeah, what are you doing here? Who are you again? So again, these girls start off as like basically strangers, and then don't worry about it. Yeah, I guess, again, I really need a better system of keeping track of which screenshot I'm at correlates to where in my notes I'm at. But yeah, we have the opening that has lots of fun shots of all the characters, like they're being filmed. I really like the character designs. They're very unique. Like, they have very unique, like, hair and head shapes. Like, she's got, like, a messy ponytail. She's got like straight long hair. She got a little bob. She smokes. You know how it goes. And then also notice this. Don't think I didn't realize this. This is something that fudging Bloom Into You did, and we're also talking about blooming. Spoiler alert: this does not have a whole lot to do with Bloom Into You, other than being a Yuri. But I did notice that in the opening of Bloom Into You, they have like they hide their faces with like a mask and flowers, and she does the same thing here. It's very odd. And I also really like this shot. It's like a very long shot for an opening, because opening is like usually like quick, you know, high energy shots, but like there's just one shot of like a slowly panning back throughout this hallway, and then eventually the camera person trips and aims at the ceiling. But I do like that, how it like zooms out like that. It's very fun. And we got some cute picture shots of Botan, including one where she almost falls out the window. And it took me a while to figure out who the fudge this character was, because she doesn't have regular hair. This is Botan. I thought this was like an undisclosed like 5th character of the series. No, 2, 4, 6. There's 6 main characters. I thought this was like undisclosed like 7th character, but like no, it's just Botan with her hair in a different place. And this is the character that doesn't show up until episode 6. So this is like the one time where it does spoil something. Because I'm like, where is she? Is she ever gonna show up? And then they just have like weird shots like this. Where like they're filming a plane going by, or a dragon if we're going by the previous discussion. And then just like she pops up. I forget her name, I have her in my notes. And then they also have the shot that just happened in the opening. I wasn't sure if this was going to change it for each episode, but no, that's just part of the opening. It's them quote unquote first meeting, their first on-screen interaction. They're like dorm mates, so I'm assuming they've like met before. But that's like their like moment their like actual relationship started. Whatever, go my Skyrider! I do like her expression in this shot though. It's very funny. And then I also like reflections. Again, one of the things that's very easy to do in regular filmography, but takes a lot of effort and time, and like thinking of like, okay, how would this image be reflected into this other area? It's very interesting. Also, I'll say it now, the girls are in school for programming, I think. They talk about, like, they have, like, Python books in the background, and they talk about programming sometimes. But I think that's what they're there for. They don't really talk about why they're going to school. But yeah, they have this shot of them hanging out and drinking pasta and sparkling water or whatever. I don't know, don't worry about it. Again, who are you? You're not here yet. You're not even here yet. And then I like this ending where Botan makes a little gun to the camera and then like does the blow off the steam and then walks away. And we have the title of the show, which I'm gonna make sure I'm pronouncing this Japanese correctly. Kamiina Botan Yoru Sugata wa Yuri ni no Hana. Yuri no Hana. But Kamiina Botan. Kamiina Botan Yoru Sugata wa Yuri no Hana. Basically meaning the form of Kamiina Botan when drunk is the shape of a lily flower. So yeah, I guess Kamiina Botan fully blossoms when drunk is about as smoothest way that you could translate that. And by the way, I did almost call her Kamijatoma. But no, it's Kamiina, not Kamijo. Anyway. What if you were trying to do inhumane experiments for the good of mankind, but some kid said anyway, I'm good. That's a vocal. That's one of my lesser spoken vocal stems, by the way, that I forgot. Like about like 5-6 years ago when I was super into Index again, I was just listening to that song, the main theme of Kamijotoma, and just like the first 5 notes of that song is just a vocal stem for me. I'm sorry, I don't know how to tell you. Okay, anyway. So yeah, it's a good opening. Anyway. So yeah, they're talking, and yeah, she definitely has some trauma of, ew, gross, you hiccup, cringe. And then that's why she doesn't want us to drink in front of other people. But I'm like, is hiccuping that big of a crime? Was this girl just this girl was a big old meaty pants, but I guess that's how trauma works, is it takes something very minor and, makes you feel guilty for it. Or it just takes anything and makes you feel guilty for it. But whatever. Anyways, so she's like, Botan's like, hey, can I have a drink? And she's like, what? Are you sure you can't? You're a freshman. Are you sure you're old enough to drink? And Botan says that she was a Ryonin for a year, and that's why she's 20 in her first year of college. And fun Japanese fact of the day, when Botan says that she was a Ryonin for a year, in Japanese, Ryonin literally means a masterless samurai. Like a samurai without like a master, so like a wandering lost samurai. But in modern Japan, it's mostly talking about people who failed an entrance exam to a school and have to wait a year to take it again. So that year where you have to wait before taking another exam, you're a Ryonin, you're a masterless samurai. And I know that sounds like one of those crazy things I made up off the top of my head, or like weird things that only happen in anime, but I did a study. One of my 3 years living in Japan was a study abroad, and I met some people who were like, yeah, I was a Ronin for a year or two, because I failed the entrance exam. So that's an actual thing that people say in real life. So there's your fun fact. There's your 13th fun fact of the day, Japanese fun fact of the day. So take of that what you will. Anyway, so I believe this is a highball. I don't know what a highball is, but I think it's like vodka. I think this is what I'm drinking right now is considered a highball. What is a highball? A mixed alcoholic drink comprised of alcoholic base and a larger proportion of non-alcoholic mixture. Usually like rum and coke. Highbaru. Highballers are popular in Japan, where the term highbaru is synonymous with whiskey and soda. Okay, whatever. I have vodka and peach. It does call it a cocktail, so I don't know. It's some sort of mix. Whatever. I don't know. Ask me anything. I'm just reading you what I see on the bottle. I went to the alcohol section of the alcohol store, and they said I saw something that said peach, and I'm like, that sounds good. I'll take it. Mind you, we're in episode 1. Anyway, so Botan takes a drink, and then she starts hiccuping too, and they're like, oh my god, we're the same! And then Botan literally says this is her first drink, because she just turned 20, and that's the legal drinking age in Japan. 20 is like when you're considered like an adult in Japan, has a special word for it too, hatachi. There's your second Japanese fun fact of the day, or third or fourth or fifth, I'm not sure, I lost count. Where's my water? That's when you're like allowed to lease a house too. Anyway. So, in addition to also hiccuping, Botan also gets like super flirty when she's drinking. So I think that's what they meant by Yuri no Hana. Usually through double meanings. Because Botan said that she was interested in that, and that meaning either the drink Ibuki has or Ibuki herself. And then later they're like drinking wine together. And then Ibuki's like, oh yes, I can taste the many different palates that this wine has. And Botan says that she wants Ibuki's tongue. Which could, you know, be exactly what you think it means. Or she's talking about like, oh, she literally wants her tongue so she could taste wine better. Which is very funny. Which I think is literally the next scene. They hold hands in the first episode. I also like these in between, like, which could mean anything, honestly. I want your tongue could literally mean anything. Like, I don't know, you gotta give me more context, girl. I like these, Ah, fudge. What the fudge are they called? Eye catchers? I think they're called eye catchers. I like these eye catchers that divide episodes. This is fun. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that screenshot with the subtitle in it. But yeah, I also like their dorm. Their dorm is like this weird little cottage house. This like little tranquil little cottage house in the middle of the woods. It's very interesting. Anyway, Botan is like, man, my room's so dirty, but then Ibuki's like, hey, you want to drink some wine together? And then she starts explaining about all the intricacies of wine, visualized by this little caricature. And then this is the point where Ibuki stares directly into Botan. Or no, I get these characters mixed up. The pink-haired girl is Botan, short-haired girl is Ibuki. Botan stares directly into Ibuki's eyes and says, I want your tongue. So what she says, so yeah, this is what I'm talking about with Yuri. And then Botan is like, oh, what's going on over there? What could be happening here? Is this a plot point that's gonna encompass the entire second half of this series? Can't be me. But anyway, so later on, Botan meets Gujo, who is in the master's program, so they call her Gujo Senpai. And Gujo's big thing is, one of her big things is that she smokes. Oh no, and she's embarrassed about her smoking. But Botan is helping everyone get over their insecurities, because before, Ibuki was concerned that her hiccuping while drinking was embarrassing and Botan thought it was cute. And then Gujo was like, oh yeah, sorry, I know smoking is not the most pristine thing you could be doing. And Botan's like, no, I think it's cool. I think it makes you look like a movie star. That's a good face, by the way. So yeah, but I think that's the only time Botan... Well, no, Botan does that a couple of times throughout the series, where she just, like, says something very wholesome that helps people, like, get over their, like, insecurities. So anyway, they have a conversation and they're like, hey, you want to drink and watch a movie? Because Gujo apparently, like... This was not something I picked up on originally, but, like, Gujo is like a big movie buff, so she invites Botan to drink some alcohol and watch a movie. And then during this, don't remember what the context of this shot was. I think Gujo asked a question and she was like, yes. But yeah, Gucho's big thing is that, other than that she smokes, her big thing is that she wants to drink with Ibuki and wants to be, like, closer friends with Ibuki. But Ibuki always refuses because she doesn't want to drink in front of other people. So you can remember, maybe the scene earlier was Gujo being like, why, were they drinking in there? She never wants to drink with me. Why is she drinking with this new kid? That's effed up. And by the way, I was going to make a guide for what alcohol they drink in each episode. So if you're watching along, you can pair an alcohol to an episode. But, like, they drink that. This is like the third drink. This is episode 1. This is the third drink they've had in this singular episode. Because there was the highball at the beginning, and then there was the wine in the previous scene, and then here is this, and they have, like, Japanese sake. So don't do that. You would die. You would die if you did that. I should still do that anyway, because that would be a funny and fun guide to make, but don't actually do that because you would die. Because, like, in the universe, these 3 drinking sessions happened, like, several days apart from each other, but if you're just watching the episode, like this all takes place in the first episode, which is really funny. Face. Losing it, dude. I'm sorry. I know I always lose it during these anime discussions, but now particularly more than ever. So anyway, they start drinking, and then the frame gets slowly smaller and smaller until later they're effing plastered. And then that's when Gujo says that she wants to drink with Ibuki. And then Ibuki is thinking on that shot where Botan says that she wants her tongue. And then that's the end. That's the actual first end of the episode 1. The first ending of an episode. I'm losing it. I'm not gonna make it through it this one. I don't know, man. But I made it through like the first the spoiler-free intro in the first episode, and looking at my timestamps from the previous anime discussions, that's where most of the stream is. So it's all downhill from here. Which I hope I could say, but that is not the case. I'm so sorry. There is a lot more that happens. Because we get this nice little painterly little ending theme that has Botan like walking through the forest and then like hearing music, and then she comes to this place. And then she listens to music, and they all have a good time, and she plays DDR, and they have a little nice time playing music, and it's a good old time. That is one of the endings that is one of the ending themes that I can't understand. I don't think any of these characters play instruments except for either Yusa or Sayaka. I don't remember her name, but she plays a guitar. She's in a band. But nobody else plays instruments, so I don't know what the hell is going on here. Anyway, so remember when I said that episode 2 and 3 have completely different art styles? Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about? Because this is what the show used to look like. Like, very clean lines, very, like, circular faces, like, regular anime visual storytelling. And then as soon as we get to episode 2, all of a sudden characters are like lanky, the lines are very wobbly and not straight, and things are very like loose. And again, it's only like this for episode 2 and 3. The rest of the series, episode 1, episode 4 onwards, fine. It's just episode 2 and 3 that get weird, and I don't know why. Maybe their idea, I don't know, because I was gonna say maybe their idea was like, oh, to have a weird and different art style for each episode, but since people reacted so badly to episode 2 and 3, they decided to change course. But I don't think you can change course on that, like, halfway through developing an episode, like, making a series like that. So it's had to have been a decision that they made ahead of time, where they're just like, you know, for episode 2 and 3, let's just get weird with it. Let's just get effing weird with it. Yeah, the characters are just like lanky and sketchy and weird and like off model, and there's like weird shots like this. It's very odd. I like it though. I might have not liked it if it was the entire rest of the series, because I liked how the anime looked originally. But it is an interesting change of pace for episode 2. Oh! Anyway, we'll try to talk about this episode normally. Yeah, characters aren't posed or proportioned to how, like, you would think. It's very hard to describe, but as someone who's been watching anime for a while, it was very jarring. Like, Mars Solid 2, like, as soon as I pulled up this screenshot, like, immediately they're like, wait, hold on, something's different. I can't quite put my finger on it. But just, like, actually watching it is an entirely different experience. From just, if you saw this screenshot and was weirded out, you can't imagine how weird the rest of watching the actual episode was. Anyway, Gujo's like, hey, I got you this alcohol. Maybe we could... Thanks, I'll make sure to drink it plenty by myself. Chunk. Leaves. And then Gujo's like, I couldn't invite her to drink with me this time either. Dang. And then Botan's like, hey, you want to go shopping? And she's like, sure. And they're like, oh, hey, I need to go to the alcohol store. To the liquor store? Is it called the liquor store? But yeah, Botan and Gujo go to a liquor store to find a drink that Gujo could drink with Ibuki. And again, throughout this episode, they just have like weird shots that they don't have at all throughout the rest of the series. But Botan picks out the gayest drink that she could possibly imagine. It literally has the word Yuri in it. And for some reason that... Okay, I don't know, is this like a Japan thing? Because listen, I know I'm supposed to be the Japan expert, but I'm also the alcohol novice, so this is like the weird, like, intersecting pie chart that I don't know. But they're like, oh yeah, in this alcohol store, we have a special service where you can try a sample before you actually buy it. So the liquor store also functions as a bar? Has anyone ever seen a liquor store that gives you free samples? So anyway, they're like, hell, she's like, hell yeah. This is the one to go for. And yeah, if you're noticing that we're still missing a character from the opening, it's not just you. Anyway, so Botan picks out the Yuri flavored drink, but Gujo's plan does not end up working. Because, like, she hosts this little dinner and she's like, hey, let's have a drink to go with dinner. I got a drink to go with dinner. And Botan, or Ibuki, does not end up drinking at all. So, what the fuck ever. Anyway, the next scene, two girls are fighting. So the blonde girl, who is not called Kitamori, that's her, like, legal name, Yaika, the blonde girl Yaika, and her girlfriend are fighting. Because it's never exactly stated what kind of relationship they have. They just have a very, like, they've been friends for a long time, and they're always seen around each other. But, like, when they're first introduced, they're having, like, a big fight, and then Sayaka's like, hey, Ibuki and Botan, let's go without her. She's a big dummy, dumb. She's a big dummy, dumb. So they end up going on this trip. The art style still looks weird. This shot looks somewhat normal, but maybe it's just because it's of a character that wasn't in episode 1. Who knows, man? So they end up going to Nagatoro, which is any area that they go to. I looked it up. It's relatively near Saitama, like central westernish Japan. I'm almost out of peach drink. Okay, I got a shiver, sorry. Okay. You know, you ever just get a random shiver out of nowhere? That was not one of those moments. That I know exactly where that shiver came from. Came from the alcohol. Look at even the backgrounds are like weirdly sketchy. But yeah, they're walking around this town, and you see what I was saying about how like each episode has like unique outfits. Like, what is this outfit that Botan's wearing? Very interesting. Anyway, they find the coolest fucking spot to drink, because that's the whole point of the show, is to find cool spots to drink. So they end up sitting on this cliff, and Botan and Sayaka have a great time, because they're just drinking, and then, but Ibuki's like, I have trauma, oh no. And then Sayaka's like, hey, why aren't you drinking? And Ibuki's like, don't worry about it. And Botan's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just give her some space. She knows what's up. Listen. You know those fun videos that I pop up in my recommendations every so often of like, what stage would be the best place to have a beer in Super Smash Brothers Brawl? You know those stages, those videos? I've not watched any of those videos, but this would be a good spot. This would be... I'm totally not into the whole drinking, but like, I would be if I could find better spots like this to just hang out and drink. Anyway, I'd be more of a drinker if I could find pretty spots to drink at. That's all I had to say. Oh my gosh, I'm shedding. Okay, no, I'm not. We're all drinking on Foreside. Hold on, that's the city level, right? I know, that's the melee level. Yeah, you know what? On the top of a rooftop overlooking a skyscraper, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Although Brawl also had Delfino Plaza, and I would be drinking anywhere on Delfino Plaza, I'm not gonna lie. Brawl stages. That Pikmin level, I feel like would be a good place to drink to. Maybe I should watch that video. The funny is that place is permanently daytime in Earthbound. I did hear about that. For when I was watching like a Smash Stage fun fact video. But like, yeah, I guess they just wanted the visual distinctionness. And it does look pretty, I'm just saying. If you played Earthbound. I am Earthbound. Remember that song? How old is that song? You know what song I'm talking about, Mar, right?
Wow, Dad, thanks for all the gifts. I really like it.
Yeah.
This is not related to Yuri, I'm sorry.
I am Earthbound. I'm an RPG, the second game in a set
You
of
don't
three.
remember
Didn't
this
do
song.
so hot when I first debuted, but 10 years later I've got attitude. Gray plastic coating with shiny parts inside. Put me in your console, cause I'm a wild ride. The Earth is in danger, we have to call on who? For heroic teens, Ness, Paula, Jeff, and Pooh? Hours of gameplay are down in my heart. It's not hard to believe I'm a work of art. I am Earthbound.
Anyway, it is called Steven's Basement. 19 years ago? 19 years ago? I was gonna question, because he said that, I didn't do so hot when I first came out, but 10 years later, I've got a... But I'm like, so 10 years after Earthbound came out was 19 years ago? I need more peach drink. Anyway, just look up I Am Earthbound music video. It's like you got it. Steven's Basement. January 2007. That's fucked up. That's like you know for reference, that's like a month or two after Sonic 06 came out. Yeah, that game is old. But yeah, I remember watching that on in the olden times. Until it was already 20 because of Wii U release and all that. I might have played it on an back in like 2008, 9 maybe. I know it wasn't until like the Wii U or like the Wii, not the Wii U, the Wii Virtual Console release that I played like a decent amount of it. So I did play Earthbound. I got up to the eraser statue part and stopped. Anyway. So Botan questions Kitamori and finds out that she is good friends with Yusa, the other girl that she was fighting with. And they usually go on trips together, but they got into a fight due to a misunderstanding of how motorcycle laws work. And Botan cleared it up for her, like, it was like, oh yeah, this is actually how the law works, because her dad drives motorcycles. And she's like, oh, really? Oh, I feel dumb now. I should probably go apologize to her. Because I think the idea was, like, she was mad because she didn't want to, like, ride two-person on one motorcycle together, but, like, the law says, like, oh yeah, your first year of being a motorcycle license, you can't do that. I think was what was what was going on there. Hold on, screenshot transition was too funny. Didn't realize that Ibuki didn't move as Botan walked up to her and flirted at her. Again, Botan does another drunk flirt to Ibuki, saying they should come here alone next time. And Ibuki's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean come here alone to do it? And then Botan's like, so you can drink. So we can, the two of us alone can drink. Me when I leave stealth, uncrouch to stealth. So funny. Oh my gosh, these episodes just go on because there's so many things that happen in each episode. I would be curious how the original manga was presented, maybe just in short chapters, because these episodes are broken up into like 5-minute chunks where, like, you know, for like the first part of this episode, Botan and Gujo went to a liquor store, and then the second part was them going on this little trip with Sayaka, and then the third part of the episode was Ibuki and Botan going to a clothing shop that serves alcohol. Okay, listen, I understand the liquor store giving you free samples, that makes sense. A clothing shop that serves alcohol, a clothing store / bar. Anyway, Botan tries on this really cute dress and it's really cute, and Ibuki's like, oh my gosh, you look cute in it, but I'm not gonna say that out loud because that'd be embarrassing. Oh my god. So yeah, and there were, cause that's weird, because like, that's what I was talking about earlier, when, because like, yeah, I know that a lot of this sounds like, oh yeah, obviously this is a Yuri show from the get-go, but like, that's not necessarily like the focus. They just, like, you know, have some Yuri hints to it, where Botan says some double entendres and Ibuki has some gay thoughts, but like, that's pretty standard fare for like cute girls do cute things show, like Yuri baiting. But like in the second half of the episode, they have some, or like in the second half of the series, they have like actual serious conversations about their relationship. So that's what I was talking about, where like it always has an undertone of Yuri, but the undertone of Yuri bubbles up to the surface, if that makes any sense. Again, just like, do you see this face? That is not a face that most these are not faces that most anime would do. But yeah, they try and close, and then they're like, okay, this becomes a plot point later, but here I didn't get a screenshot of it because I didn't think it would be important, but they find a pair of earrings, and Botan and Ibuki are like, oh, I've never gotten a piercing, maybe, and then they're like, oh, maybe we could get a piercing together and get matching earrings. Haha, just kidding, we're just friends. Anyway, moving on. But then the shopkeeper is like, oh, I'll give you a call when they're in stock and I'll let you know. So you can, in case you change your mind and you want to buy them. Anyway, so that's the end of episode 2. I don't know what the fudge is going on in this ending. Cause like, look at this picture and tell me exactly what's going on. It's Yusa and oh fudge, what the fudge is Yaika and Yusa on a little trip together, like they normally do. But they didn't in this episode because they were fighting. And they're just kind of like exploring the world. And there's a train. Anyway, the art style got even dumber. Cause like this is what the episode looks like. Like it somehow got even more sketchy and more like what the fuck? It's like you think that I'm just cherry picking like weird like gag shots, but like no, that's how the entire episode looks. That's just the episode. That's just how the entire episode looks. Oh god. And I was honestly disappointed that it didn't get stupider and stupider as the time as it goes on. But yeah, no, that's just how the whole episode looks. Anyway, she's got the shark! She's got the plush shark! Anyway, somehow the art style got even dumber, and I'm all here for it. I kind of love it. It kind of owns, yeah. I agree. Anyway, Botan is scared of Thunder because trauma. Because when she was 10 years old, she got caught locked outside of the house and caught in a thunderstorm all night. So that's why she has trauma for that. And she's got a shark plushie. And then I forget why Ibuki's out of her room. Ibuki, I think like there's a bug in her room and she doesn't want to go, and she laid a trap there and she doesn't want to go in until the bug's gone. So she's like, I'm not going back in my bedroom until morning. So then they end up just hanging out, trauma dumping with each other. This fun shot. And then they're like, hey, there's this alcohol that helps you sleep, so let's drink some alcohol. By the way, have I ever mentioned I wish I could make this face at people in real life? I think my life would be a lot easier if I could make this face at people in real life. Anyway, so yeah, it's so hard to pay attention to what happens in this episode because it looks like this. Like there's like every single frame of this episode is just a character making a dumb face. Cause like this scene, they're having like a real like nice heart to heart where they're like, you know, talking about trauma and how to get over it and, you know, stuff like that, and how to like deal with trauma and stuff like that. And, you know, developing the relationship further. And then meanwhile, Botan's just making this stupid face. And then they end up sleeping in the same bed, and it's huge. And why does the shark plushie have to go on the floor? Anyway, they meet this girl, they have some drinks. So they have an IPA. I swear I fixed this. But IPA, in case you didn't know, India Pine Ale. Just the fun, more stupid. Botan's like, what does that mean? Again, I wish I could make this face to people in real life. I think that would help clear up a lot of things. Then they have like an esoteric, they're like listening to music, and then the art style gets even fuckier. Because they put, as soon as they put the vinyl on the disc, like things start getting bubbly, and like, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? Why are there numbers? Why is it in crayon? I don't understand. I'm gonna finish my peach drink. Anyway, there are also just like, as with slice of life shows and cute girls do cute things, there are just some scenes where I'm like, yeah, they listen to music and it's cute. There's nothing significant that happens in this scene, sorry. A good face. Anyway, so Botan at some point finds out that Ibuki likes going to private onsens to have a drink and bathe. So she's like, what, I could invite Ibuki to do that with me? Then we could be naked and drink together. That'd be cool, right? That's a normal thing. I mean, that is a relatively normal thing that friends do in Japan, is go to onsens. And then they get this effing beautiful ass onsen with an ocean view. Like, holy shoot. Listen, if we're talking about good places to drink at, this is a fucking good place to drink at. I fuck with this a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And then she's like, ooh, what? That's crazy. And then they end up having a nice, it's a very nice scene where, like, you know, they grow closer and Ibuki talks about, like, oh, you know, I used to hate drinking in front of others, but, you know, I like drinking in front of you. You know, it's even been, you know, I used to prefer drinking by myself, but, you know, now it's become, you know, more fun to drink with you, Botan. And then fucking she's just making this stupid ass face. And I'm trying to take this scene seriously because it's like the first scene of them having like an actual deep conversation about how they value each other as friends. But like they're just keep making stupid fucking faces in the fucking, like, how do you take anything seriously when it's immediately followed up by this shot? Explain to me that one. So maybe there's a good reason why they're like, hey, you know, if the show's gonna be like serious and not silly flight Yuri bait, then maybe we shouldn't make the show look like this. Again, I really wish I could look at people with this, make this face in real life. But yeah, they have a sweet little moment, and it's fine. And then the next episode looks normal. This is episode 4. It just looks normal. What the fuck? It's just like fucking half an episode ago we were looking like this. And then now all of a sudden we're just like, hey, we're back to regular anime now. Like, we got the shading, we got the clean line art, we got the circles and the shapes and everything. Like, what the fuck? And that's how it is for the rest of the series. Anyway, so that's a fun whirlwind of fun episodes. And somehow, maybe they're like, hey, the first couple episodes of the show are kind of boring. Okay, here's my new theory. They're like, okay, the first episodes of the show are kind of boring compared to the later episodes, where things get a little bit more deep and complex and we introduce more characters. And we introduce more character. And we talk about, like, you know, the relationships get a lot deeper and more intricate. But like the first 3 episodes are just like very light and fluffy and boring. So like we got to do something to mix it up. That's my only theory for why episodes 2 and 3 look like that. Is that they just wanted to spice things up a little. Anyway, episodes 4 to 6. I know it's not even on the thing. I know it's not straight, but I mean, honestly, were you expecting anything straight out of this stream? Do I have any more drink left? No? Okay, cool, awesome. So yeah, definitely, like, don't get me wrong. The art style is, and the directing and everything is still unique, relatively speaking, compared to most anime. Because we have shots like this. I mean, that's just a reference to, the Punch-Out anime. Not the Punch-Out anime, the boxing anime. But, like, we still have, like, interesting, cool-looking shots. And, like, lighting and stuff. But, like, it looks like, for the most part, like a regular anime. It is normal as far as this show is concerned. And now I got something in my nose. Anyway, they go on a little car trip, and Ibuki is like, wow, it's really impressive how you know how to drive a stick shift. And then Gujo's like, I know how to drive a stick shift. And then she effing doesn't, and then looks like a fool in front of her crush, and then makes what the fudge was that? They also referenced it in Gurren Lagann. It's a very common reference, where there's like a character that, did not had a unfortunate junction in a very old anime, and this is like a famous shot that a lot of other anime reference. Gurren Lagann also referenced it too. There, I said Gurren Lagann. I mean, Gurren Lagann is like also 20 years old at this point. I'm pretty sure Gurren Lagann is as old as that other show now as Gurren Lagann was back then. Does that make sense? Ocarina of Time 3D is older than Ocarina of Time was at the launch of Ocarina of Time 3D. Ears perk up. Heard Gurren Lagann. You know what show I'm talking about, right, Mar? I think so. Meow 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 meow. Not WEPB file. This shot from Gurren Lagann. Ashita no Joe. That's what it was. Here we go. We're gonna teach you some anime history. So both of these shots, both of these shots are a reference to Ashita no Joe. Which, and the original looks like this. The blue lighting with the head held in disgrace, and the blue and white and black lighting. Actually, you know, this show was a closer reference to that shot than Gurren Lagann was, honestly. I don't know. Gurren Lagann, I think, has the colors better, but as far as the posing, I think the show is a little better. The Kamiina Botan show. But yeah, it's a very famous scene in Ashita no Joe. And Ashita no Joe was 1970, and the anime was 1980. So yeah, Gurren Lagann is about as old as Ashita no Joe was when it made that reference. So Gurren Lagann was referencing a 20-year-old anime, and this show is referencing a 40-year-old anime. I hate time. I hate the passage of time. But you know what else also references the passage of time? Kid Icarus Uprising! Wah, 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 wah! Okay, anyway. So yeah, anyway, that's just a funny scene. A scene that is just funny, but I have nothing to say about it. That Gujo was trying to impress Ibuki by showing off how she can drive stick, but she can't actually drive stick, and she stalled the car out. Does anyone smell? That's it. Does anyone smell? And they have this cute little scene where they rented a car so they could go on a little trip, because that's all they do as college students apparently, is just go on day trips to pretty places. Which, like, yeah, that's what I did all for all of my weekends when I lived in Japan, is just drive to cool, interesting places, because Japan is full of that. I mean, look at this. That's cool, right? That's cool, right? And then Yaika, I think, is looking over and sees the sea of clouds. You think, okay, so they do reference this as like being the Sea of Clouds, and like this is a famous spot in Japan where you can see the Sea of Clouds. Do you think this spot in Japan was the inspiration for the Cloud Sea in Xenoblade 2? Going back to, yes, I know, Mar, now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. Everything is a reference to your interest if you're crazy enough. But I do wonder how famous this spot in Japan is, and if it inspired Xenoblade 2 at all. Because I see it. And then Botan gets little cards, and she's like, oh, what should we write on the... I heard that when you write each other's names on these cards, then, you know, you'll be bound together through fate. Haha, wouldn't it be so funny if we put our names on those cards? And then the lighting changes and things get very emotional. I love me a good lighting change in a shot. I know I talked about that a lot with Witch Hat Atelier. But also, this too. And then Gujo's drinking by the death flowers? Oh no, these are not death flowers. What are these flowers? I'm really about to rush through Peak just to understand your words. It's a stage in Super Smash Brothers! You know what the Cloud Sea is! You don't need to rush through anything. Smash Bros. Ultimate Cloud Sea. The Cloud Sea, I get it. This. I'm saying, I wonder if the people who made Xenoblade 2 went to this real-life location in Japan and got inspired. Okay, but it's not the Idris Sea, so I don't care. That was the wrong image to delete. Okay, I fixed it. I just hit the enter and delete button like right back to back without looking at what I was actually deleting. Okay, I fixed it. Anyway, Gujo is now full-on jealous because she wants to be friends with Ibuki. And it seems like only Botan and Ibuki only wants to be friends with Botan. And so she's smoking her troubles away, and I'm just gonna pull up the characters' names. Yusa, I think her name is? Yusa, is like, yeah, shucks, don't it? And then it starts raining, and then, right as, Gujo is saying a sad thing, because she was like, okay, the original reason why I want to drink with Ibuki so bad is because, you know, I was walking down the town one night and I saw through a bar window Ibuki sitting alone in a bar drinking, and she looked so happy. And she thought that Ibuki doesn't play fair, or Zudui is the Japanese word for the phrase doesn't play fair. So I think she got okay thoughts. I don't know, man. Don't worry about it. Let's go to the next scene. So as she was lamenting, like, oh man, I wonder if I'll ever get to, you know, be with Ibuki as she makes that happy drinking face, that starts raining on her cheek. If in Full Metal Alchemist, terrible day for rain scene, except it's actually raining. Anyway, next episode, Botan and Gujo play a PlayStation 1 together. Because, okay, you know what's really funny about that? Gujo said that she bought PlayStation 1 because she saw Let's Play videos on the internet and thought it seemed fun, so she decided to buy a console herself, but it turns out she shucks. And she's like, yeah, here's the game that I can't play, that I can't beat. And then Botan's like, hey, that game's 2 players. Maybe I can help you beat it. And then they play games together. They play PlayStation 1 together. Does anyone know if this is a specific reference to a PlayStation game? I thought it was Kirby Superstar, because I know the box for Kirby Superstar is like wood print in Japan. Kirby Superstar box art Japan. But it's not that, because it's a PlayStation game and not a Super Nintendo game. But here's what the box art for Kirby Superstar looks like in Japanese. Oh, it's the other one. What? The other Kirby Superstar game for PlayStation? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I apologize if this discussion is just kind of all over the place. It's just how it goes. It's the other one. No, I'll wait till you finish. I think it's still a Nintendo property despite the PlayStation look. Yeah, it might be, I don't know. The name of the game is Koneko no Oriba. Koneko means kitten, but I don't know what Oriba means. It's that weird cutout guy I always forget the name of. Are you sure you're not drinking too much peach drink? You sure you're... The original creator is called Hey? That's an awesome name. That's an awesome name to be called. Hey, what's up? My name's Hey. Nice to meet you. Anyway, we'll have to look it up later. Anyway, they watch a video on alcohol, and it's like in the style of those like text-to-speech like Toho ball faces. I worked a morning shift, a more inebriated than you. Yeah, no, I get you. That's why I didn't stream on Friday, because I had to get up at like 5 a.m. and then work from like 8 to like 6:30. And then as soon as I got back, I just like fell asleep. Anyway, it is nice to see that Gujo being jelly of Botan doesn't get in the way of their friendship. Like, she's like jealous of Botan, but like she doesn't blame Botan for it because Botan's still like a sweetheart. And then in this shot, Gujo was like, oh wait, hold on, get close to me. And then she said that she did that and she's like, not like that. And then they made a funny joke. I think this is supposed to be Kirby Superstar, because they were making jokes about like, oh, if I kiss you, then I heal you. And I'm like, that's exactly what you do in Kirby Superstar. So I think they're just supposed to be playing Kirby Superstar. Anyway, this is the shot. I guess I have these notes out of order. Yeah, I guess I have these notes out of order, because this is the shot where Gujo was looking at Ibuki drinking alone and being happy, and she was jealous. Yep, okay, Superstar posting. Because, yeah, they were making, like, flirtatious comments with each other, be like, oh, you know, if you kiss me, then you get health. And she's like, oh, you mean in the game, right? And Botan was like, heh, wink. But, like, this is the only, spoiler alert, this is the only Gujo Botan friend, the last of the Gujo Botan relationship development that we get. Because in, like, 2 more episodes, Gujo's about to get a new girl. Anyway, then they fall asleep playing Kirby Superstar. And then they have this whole episode where they go to a foot bath, and I don't have anything to say about it. Moving on. Kirby games make you gay. This is why gay people cannot be stopped, because everybody loves Kirby. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Anyway, that's what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, this is the ending. This was the ending that I have no fucking idea what's going on. So like, I think it's about Yusa being in a band and but it's like a flashback, and I can't tell who anyone is. Cause like, okay, here's me doing my best of trying to parse what this show is. Okay, so there's 3 girls singing, playing guitar. And they got seashells, and they're having a good time. And I guess no, that's only 3 of them, and they're having a good time. And then 2 of them are like looking at a text, and then she gets angry and throws the phone, and then walks away. And then the 3rd one is like, "Oh, what happened?" And then they walk off into the distance. And then later, Yusa is like holding a shell. So she was definitely, Yusa was one of the people here, but I can't tell what, because that's her hair color. Her hair color is like red, fucking brown red, but that doesn't match the hair color of anyone here. But like, and then she's also watching like, oh look, up and coming band, but it's 2 girls, but they don't have the same hair color. And she gets surprised, and she's like, wait, like, I know these people. Like, what is going on? What is going on? There's 3 girls, they're singing in a band. One has bright red hair, one has blonde hair, one has brown hair. They find shells. They're singing. Brown hair, bright blonde hair are having a fight that ends up throwing a phone. Brown hair girl comes up to bright red hair girl and looks at a text, and then they all go walk off in the distance. And then later we have dirty blonde and green hair girl on like showing like that they're an up and coming band, and they all have the same like shell necklace. So are they supposed to be the same people? Like, what happened here? Like, I don't, who is who? I don't understand. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I understand nothing. My best guess is that Yusa used to be in a band and it broke up, but the 2 girls stayed together and are now popular, I guess. That would explain Yusa's later actions where she's so devoted to you know, playing music. Maybe she wants to be like, I don't know, I got nothing. She wants to like prove that she has the talent that the other 2 girls that left her did. Maybe, I don't know. But why does she have green hair now? Because even the characters here and the characters in this shot don't look like the same characters. Maybe the glasses girl? The bright red hair girl's the glasses girl. So if we look at the glasses, maybe that's the same character. I don't... Which would make Sayaka this girl? But like, what did the text say? Why did she throw the phone? I don't understand. My head hurt. I need to stop. We're moving on to episode 5. I don't understand this ending. If anyone knows what this ending is about, please let me know. Kamiina Botan fully blossoms when drunk. Episode 4. Ending credits visuals. Anyway. Trauma! So, episode 5 starts with Ibuki having a nightmare of this happening? Of like her reaching out, being in black and white times and reaching out to someone who's walking away and then missing. And then she just kind of... Who? How much trauma do you got, girl? You got public drinking trauma and now you have school day trauma? This is never brought up again, by the way. Spoiler alert. At least in season 1, there's no season 2 as at the time of this recording. But season 1, this is never brought up again. Whatever this flashback was, it's never brought up again. Anyway, so Ibuki's like, hey, let's go to a tavern. And Botan's like, there's like a tavern? Like in one of those old Wild West shows? And Ibuki's like, no, not like that. Not like that. Like this. And then everything's fine, and then they're drinking, and then people walk in, and then like sit down. Like, look, they got all this bar room, and these people decide to sit down right next to these two girls. That's crazy. And then Botan, or Ibuki, starts getting, like, self-conscious and, like, scared that, you know, she's drinking and hiccuping in front of other people. So then they move to a back room, and then the lighting gets really intense. Like, you see the lighting, where there's, like, Botan is in light, and then Ibuki is in darkness, and she's having a little mental breaky. And then they have this like little nice moment where, you know, Botan is like, hey, don't worry about it. No, take it at your own pace. And you know, again, remember that I don't mind your hiccuping, and I think your hiccuping while drinking is actually kind of cute. And they have a little bond, and they have a nice little happy times. They have a nice... I think she also fully explains that, like, oh yeah, during my like first year of college I went to like a mixer or whatever, and then there was drinking, and then I hiccuped and someone made a shitty comment about like, could you not drink so fucking loud? And then that gave her trauma, and then she has not been able to drink in front of people since. And then she asked the bartender like, hey, I need a drink to help cheer me up, and he's like, I fucking got you. Shout out to the bartender. Bartender is one of my favorite characters. That's literally all he did. He was just like, I fucking got you, girl. One drink to help cheer you up, coming right the fuck up. And also he has like a somewhat unique design. He has like glasses that cover his eyes and then shaggy hair. I don't remember why. I don't remember why I took all these screenshots. I need to make more notes. But hey, if it wasn't important enough to go in the notes, then it probably wasn't important. If I forgot about it, then it probably wasn't important. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I think it was just the scene of like Botan being like, hey, you have nothing to feel ashamed of. And then Ibuki being like, aw, thanks. And then I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. But again, I wish I could make this face at people in real life. So anyway, Botan and Gujo make strawberry whiskey together, which apparently is Ibuki's favorites, which involves weighing out some, I think, sugar and strawberries, and then pouring whiskey over it and letting it marinate. And then Botan said that, hey, Gujo, you definitely have to make Ibuki drink it with you this time. Botan said that Gujo definitely has to make Ibuki drink it with her this time. She's like, 100%, you're gonna go on a fun road trip with Ibuki, and you're gonna work up the courage to invite her to drink this with you. And then the next episode that doesn't, and then in the next scene that doesn't happen. Also, I was gonna look up this song to see if it was a real song. Drift Vortex. Yeah, that's basically what this one says, is that you are this is a note from Botan basically saying what I just said. And then Gujo is like, hey, you want to drink the whiskey together? And Ibuki's like, I gotta fucking drive. And Gujo's like, oh yeah, never mind, sorry. And then they have this like super dramatic scene of, you know, Gujo being like sad and you know, like just these very quiet moments. Yeah, I think this is the scene where Ibuki's like, yeah, sorry, I still don't want to drink with you, my bee. And then Gujo's like, no, that's fine. And then things get very dramatic, and then the lighting gets like darker and Ibuki feels bad. Yeah, look at that. I love lighting changes. And then what happens next is, I think, one of the gayest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Ibuki's still feeling bad about Gujo not being able to drink with Gujo. Sees that Gujo's smoking a cigarette, takes the cigarette out of her mouth, and then puts it in her mouth, and then starts smoking it, and says, ha, that was my first time smoking. You took my first time, tee-hee. Huh! And then, I tried to take a drink of my peach drink, but I have no more peach drink left. So, okay, first of all, A, that is one of the gayest things I've ever seen in my entire life. B, maybe if Ibuki can't get over her hiccup trauma with Gujo, maybe smoking can be the thing they share together. Or C, it's just doomed to love triangle Yuri. And then my question immediately got answered, because the ending visuals for this episode say, doomed love triangle Yuri. If this shot was not horror, very on the nose about that. And then, yeah, watching the rest of the series, spoiler alert, yeah, that's what happens. Unless there's a season 2, I don't know. Season 1, spoiler alert, ended very, kind of in the middle of things. It was a very good ending, and I like the way that it ended, but it definitely, like, it wasn't a satisfying ending that kept the door open for a season 2. Anyway, so finally in episode 6, we get introduced to a new character. And before I tell you what this character's name is, I want to ask Mar. Mar, were you here for the stream last week where Dom and I watched Ribbon Hero? Because I don't think you were. I know somebody was there. I completely forgot who, because I have a terrible memory. I think it was Tevin. It wasn't you, was it? It was Tevin. Am I crazy? Am I losing it? Are you in my walls? Are you in my walls, Mar? As for that for the pre-stream, but not the watching? Okay. Because I told Dom I have a question to ask you, but I don't want to ask it on stream. But it's related to, but I'll end up talking about it later anyway. It was about this. It was, and then someone in the stream was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Just say it." And I'm like, "No, I'll tell you later in the Yuri anime discussion, the drunk Yuri anime discussion." And this is what it was about. Okay, so this character is a exchange student from Taiwan, and her name is Ching Long Chang. Is it just me, or is that name how offensively stereotypical? Like someone from Taiwan being named Ching Long Chang? Like, is that racist, or am I racist for thinking that it's racist? That was the question I was gonna ask Dom. And Dom said that, yeah, I play a lot of like Chinese gacha games, and Ching Long Chan is not that uncommon of a name. It's like, you know, it's a type of naming convention that is used sometimes. So the answer is, I'm racist for thinking that it's racist. Her name is Ching Long Chang. Ching Long Chang. Ching Long Chang. You could always look it up. Am I racist? Hey Google, am I racist? Is this racist, or am I racist for thinking that it's racist? I think the answer is that I'm racist for thinking that it's racist. Dang. Could always look it up. What do I look up? How common of a name is Ching Long? How do you spell it? Ching Lang Chan. Ching Lang Chong is a rare full name combination, although its individual parts are common Chinese surnames. And when I look up Ching Lang Chong, there was an actual Taiwanese actress named Ching Lan Chong. Ching Lan Chang. Ching Lan Chang. I'm racist. It's a real name. I'm racist. But I'm just saying, like, in this context, like, sure, it's a real, just because it's a real name doesn't mean it's not very stereotypical. And that it's not a little bit racist for a Japanese author to be like, I'm gonna introduce a Taiwanese exchange student. What is her name? Ching Lang Chong. It's like, you know, if they had a American exchange student and their name was Big Mac McGlee Gun Glick McGlee football. I got nothing. Fred Fucks. There's like, it's like if their name was Fred Fucks. Anyway, I do like Qinglong. I do like Qinglong. She brings a weird energy to the series that I kind of vibe with, I'm not gonna lie. She's like at the same time very airy. She has a very like airy way that she talks. But also she's very like introspective and like kind of like in tune with what people are feeling, and kind of like she's kind of the thing that like pushes the plot forward. Like she asks like the questions that actually, you know, get the relationships like progressing in a way. Because she immediately comes in and she's like, hey Botan, are you and Ibuki dating? Because you look like you're dating. And then that kind of like gets the ball rolling on everything. So I like her either one way or another. Whether her name is racist or not, it's at least better than, what was that one manga that had a Latina girl named Latina? Her name is literally just Latina. And the author was like, oh, I asked Chat GPT for Latina names, and that's what it gave me. And I'm like, this is why we don't fucking use. Anyway, I'm done. I'm not gonna go on that rant. I'll save that for later. Anyway, Qinglan is cool. I also like her voice actress. Despite being Japanese, her voice actress does a good job of making her sound like Japanese is not her first language. She definitely does speak it relatively fluently, but she has like a specific cadence to it that is uncommon for native speakers. And she has like a weird way of formatting her sentences. It's very subtle, but you know, if you are a Japanese language learner, you'd know to pick up on that. Be like, oh, I remember in my Japanese class, my Japanese teacher said to not do that, and now look at her what she's doing now. That's crazy. But like, you know, as long as you can express yourself and be understood, it doesn't matter. Just wing it. I also like her design. I like her short hair and a little like bob cut. Anyway, they go caving, and the first thing they do when Qinglan shows up is they go caving, and she gets a panic attack because it's so dark and scary. And Botan is like, here, I'll hold your hand and we'll get through it together, don't worry. And then Qinglan's like, oh, thank you, you're so helpful. And then all of a sudden, Botan and Qinglan are all buddy-buddy, and Ibuki's like, what the fuck? Again, I wish I could look at people like this in real life. Because like, what is this face? So we got Ibuki being a little jealous. That's crazy. So yeah, Qinglan wants to go drinking with Botan, and Ibuki's like, oh, I'm so mad about this, and Botan's like, oh, it's fine, we'll go together, you don't have to come, Ibuki. And Ibuki's like, no, fuck it, I'm coming. I'm gonna go drinking with you two. I gotta keep a fucking eye on you two. This is her flashback where someone said, could you not fucking drink so loudly? This bitch. The trauma-given girl. Anyway, so yeah, Ibuki is so jealous of this new girl that she's just like, she just bites the bullet and takes a drink in front of Botan and Qinglan. And she's like, yeah, it's great. I'm not having a trauma response at all. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then Botan is like, oh my god, my girlfriend is in tears. So anyway, they're like, so they have a private conversation away from Qinglan. And this time Ibuki says something that could be misunderstood, because Ibuki's like, hey, I think we should rent a room together. And Botan's like, oh, you DTF? DTF? What the fuck? Anyway, then we have this random side. No, we don't. I don't know what the shot is. I think the shot is part of another scene that I forgot to mention. But no, they mean Ibuki does not mean DTF. They mean, she means all three of them should rent a room together because Qinglan is effing wasted and is not going to make it home. So we should probably just rent a hotel room for her to sleep at for the night. And she's like, oh, okay, that's what you meant. And then while Qinglan is like passed out in the other room from partying too hard, Ibuki and Botan share a cute little moment together where Botan is like, I think I'm becoming more like you because, you know, every time I drink now, I hiccup every time, just like you do. Because she hiccuped the first time, but that was only for like carbonated beverages. But now she's like, oh yeah, now every time I drink, now I hiccup. So maybe we're becoming more like each other. And Qinglan's like, ooh, hot goss. Hot fucking goss. So yeah, I think this is what Chinlan sees that prompts her question in the next episode. So the next episode or the episode after that? I have no idea, dude. But yeah, then they have this little sweet moment. And then that's the end of episode 6. I know, I could have put these together a little bit. I could have grouped these a little bit better. Because that had like the very end of the Gujo arc that ended in Doomed Love Triangle Yuri, and then introduced Chinlan, but didn't actually, like, whatever, don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Most of these episode cutoff point sections are completely arbitrary and are just like whatever batch of episodes I watched at that specific time. Because I usually watch episodes in anime in like 3-episode batches. So I watched episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That and whatnot. Why do I have the Cloud Sea of All Rest on my other tab? Why were we talking about that? I forgot. Okay, we're over halfway through. Because I know I have like the intro and everything, and usually when we get to this part, we're usually like 2/3 of the way through. But there's a lot at the end of this show that is interesting. Anyway, so the 3 most awkward members of the dorm end up going on a group together. Because they're like, oh yeah, Yusa, Yaika, and Botan are like the extroverts of the group, where Ibuki, Chinlan, and Gujo are a little more introverted, or at least not super chatty. So it was a little socially awkward of a hiking trip. Also not related to the episode, but there were a lot of like weird like things I feel like it would only happen in Japan things on this. Like you had to fill out before you went on this trip, or before you went on this hike up a mountain, you had to fill out a waiver of your emergency contacts information of like who you are and like where your house is, and like in case you go missing, so people know where you are, and if you did not make it back from the mountain, because there are bears in the mountain. So like there's a warning of bears, but they go anyway. If I went to a mountain path and they're like, yeah, there are bears, so fill out this waiver so we can contact your loved ones in case you go missing on the mountain, I would simply not climb on that mountain. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'd see bears of the waiver and run away. And then later, when they get up to they cross this bridge. I would not fucking cross this bridge. When they get up, they get like halfway up the mountain, and they see this sign asking people to fill up a carton of water and carry it to the top of the mountain, because the village at the top of the mountain has difficulty getting running water, and you can help out by doing that. And then they're like, okay. And I'm like, huh? That is a very odd thing to ask, like, random passerbys. But it's cool, though. I'd be like, yeah, sure. Why? I saw that. I'd be like, yeah, sure, I help out. I'll carry a bottle of water to the top of the mountain. Why not? Anyway, there's a frog. I like the frog. And then we get a weird directing of Ibuki being scared in the forest, and she's like, here's something, and she's like, holy fucking shit, it's a fucking bear, and it's just a deer. Shika deshita. It was a deer, not a bear. Anyway, also last stream we were talking about old ladies being 2 feet tall, and weird caricatures, and here we have another one. And she was like, hey, you know, before this, Ibuki was like, I fucking hate the mountains. The mountains effing suck. I'm gonna get murdered by a bear. And then this old lady is like, sit here and listen to the sounds of the nature. And Ibuki's like, yes, I hear the nature sounds now. Maybe I understand the appeal of hiking in a middle of a mountainous forest. And then the old lady like disappears like she was a fucking ghost. Huh? Thank you, Ghost Grandma, for teaching us the true meaning of nature or something. But either way, Ibuki's like, I think I have a better understanding of mountain climbing now. Don't ask me, don't worry about it. Anyway, Ibuki and Botan have a cute date at the planetarium. And there's like this weird shot where we have 2D characters walking on a 3D background. I did not convey the motion of that, but you get the idea. You can kind of see that it's like a 3D rendered background. And then they have a little chat where they sit down and they're like, I love space. Space is super cool. Again, it's just a very cute scene where Botan and Ibuki just go to a planetarium and drink and talk about how much they value each other as friends. And it's just a cute little scene, and I don't have a lot to say about it. They get a bed seat at the planetarium. And then they have this cute little moment. I love this shot where Botan drags her down to the seat. And they have this cute little moment where like they're like in a little box in the middle of, it's just framed very interesting. So that's cool. And then another thing I don't have a lot to say about is Gujo and Shinlan have a very awkward conversation where that basically is just like, I don't know, they're just very awkward. They just like, oh yeah, this is the part of the show that just gets very esoteric and weird, because like they're talking about nothing, but it's like framed in a very dramatic way. And then she's talking about like, oh yeah, this vintage sake from the year 2000, and I'm like, is the year 2000, is something from the year 2000 vintage? You telling me Banjo-Tooie is a retro game? Was Banjo-Tooie 99 or 2000 or 2001? Banjo-Tooie. November 20th, 2000. Okay. And they're like, oh my gosh, this has a high alcohol taste. It basically tastes like rubbing alcohol. And then they're like, hey Gujo, do you want to do some skincare? And she's like, oh, I don't really have that much of a skincare routine. And then she's like, hey, I got this chapstick, you could try that. And Chinlan's like, hey, can you put the chapstick on for me? And then like things get very intense, and then in the background like a timer is going off for like the bath being ready, and then the episode ends. And it's like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And now my question is, did Shinlan know how intimate this was, or was she intentionally playing dumb, or is she actually dumb and did not see the implications of that? I don't know. Don't worry about it. And then we move on to episode 8. Why episode 8 start with the OP though? Why episode 8 start with, episode 8 gave me a fucking heart attack. Cause every time that an anime starts an episode with an opening, instead of doing like a little intro scene and then doing the opening, when it just starts with the opening, that's usually the episode where somebody dies. You can't fucking do that to me. That's usually a sign that some shit is about to go down. And like, nothing too crazy happened, but it did feel like a somewhat serious episode. Because like, I don't know, it was a very like emotional episode. This is, the farther that we get into the series, the more difficult I have to talk about it because like it's just like it just gets weird and esoteric and very emotional, and it's just like you just gotta watch it and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Like there's a very like, you know, like this whole episode, what's her face, Yusa is wanting to take her band more seriously, and her other bandmates are not really taking it super seriously, and so there's like a little rift, and then she kind of has like an attitude the whole episode. Not really an attitude, she's just kind of like quiet and like non-talkative for a lot of the episode, and it creates this like weirdly intense vibe, but like not that intense, but it's still like weirdly chill. I don't know, it's a very weird emotion. And it also helps that the BGM for this episode specifically is a lot of like vocal like soft rock songs, like with like lyrics that are very like, it's not like, you know, hyper, it uses like, you know, like electrical, like, I'm not a music person, it uses like the electric guitars and stuff, but it's like for sad songs, sad or emotional songs. So I don't know, man. It was a very calming, it was a vibe. The episode was a vibe. It was calming and intense at the same time. And I don't know how the fudge how you make that work. So yeah, Yusa is just basically moping, and then Sayaka again, these two characters are like the tertiary characters. Yaika and Yusa, like they get like some development, and their relationship is like pretty much established at the start and doesn't really change. So they kind of like fade into the background from my mind. But they still have some episodes where like they're nice to each other, and you can see that they care about each other a lot. Cause Yaika is like immediately like, yo, what's up? Why are you so upset? And she's like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then they go to this record store that serves alcohol that is also an onsen. Okay, anyway. And then there's like this weird little pit that you drink the alcohol in. And I don't... So much alcohol. I told you the show's about drinking alcohol. I didn't even mention all the times that they drink alcohol. I've skimmed over some parts. Like here they drink alcohol before they went to the planetarium. They had Uchu Brewing space beer. And then before that, the reason that they went to the top of this mountain is to try a local sake. Like every single episode chunk is about alcohol. I don't know how to tell you this. The show is called Coming to Botan Fully Blossoms When Drunk. So there's gonna be a lot of drunk. There's gonna be a lot of drinking. I don't know how to tell you this. Anyway, so in the bath that I can't show much of, Qinglan just straight up asked Botan, like, are you dating Ibuki? And then Botan just kind of gave this smile and then didn't answer the fucking question. And then we just kind of like got left with that for like 5 minutes. And then Botan and Qinglan got separated from Sayaka and Yusa because Yusa's like, hey, I forgot my guitar. Yaika, can you come with me and pick it up? And she's like, fine, but I'm gonna be angry and bite you over it. Which is really funny. And again, during this entire episode, and this scene specifically, there's like some in the background music. There's like some girl like singing a sad song on like a guitar. So like the vibes are immaculate this episode. Anyway, then like effing 5 minutes later, Botan finally gives an answer. She says, no, we're not dating, but wonders if they're, quote, well on their way to that. So they wonder, like, it was a really weird phrasing, but I think they basically just mean, like, maybe the relationship is progressing in a direction where dating could be a possibility. Does that make sense? So Botan's like, no, we're not dating, but like I wonder if like that's where the relationship is heading. And then Shinlan basically told Botan to not lead Ibuki on if she wasn't planning on dating her. And I'm like, I was not expecting this serious of like a relationship talk from what has otherwise been a very Yuri light show. Because up until this point, there's been a lot of like I'm having a stroke. Hold on. Uendos? I know, can't even spell it. Give me a second.
Innuendo.
There's been a lot of innuendos and a lot of like, you know, Yuri baiting flirting of like, haha, what if we kissed? Hey, just kidding. But, you know, so that's what it's mostly been up to until this point. And then Chainlon is just like, come in and be like, are you two dating? And if you're not dating, you certainly look like you are dating, and that could lead to some misconceptions later in the relationship. So if you're not dating and you're not planning on dating her, you shouldn't lead her on. And that's what I'm just saying, where like, you know, I like Chainlon as a character because like she's very much in tune with what other people are thinking, and like she picks up on things and like just is not afraid to ask awkward questions like that. Which maybe that's why they introduced her as like a foreign exchange student, because like in Japanese culture it's like you don't talk about things that everybody knows but doesn't want to say out loud. But Chainlon just said the thing out loud that nobody wants to say out loud, or is not necessarily traditionally polite to say out loud. I don't know, not even polite, but like not as tradition to say. Not that saying it is like taboo or like impolite or anything. It's just that in Japan you tend to talk around things like this as opposed to just directly asking, so what are you, dating or something? So it's not necessarily rude, but it's not of usual Japanese customs. Does that make sense? I need more peach drink. But yeah, I was very much not expecting this serious of a relationship talk from what has otherwise been a very Yuri light show. But I like it, it's very cool. Is this the next episode? No, this is the end of episode 8. Where Botan and Ibuki go on a little cat. They go on a little, see, the art style is a little different here. I don't know. Anyway, they go on a little trip and they go drinking by a river. Again, pristine place to go drinking, not gonna lie. And then they kind of talk about like a little bit, they kind of like talk around the subject of like what their relationship is, and then Botan just kind of wanders into the lake and then does a little smile, and then that's the end of the episode. Again, a very esoteric, emotional, vibes-based episode. But I like it. It's the power of anime that is just like, here's a way that we can convey this story that we can't do through any other medium. And we can create a very specific vibe that is hard to put into words. Anyway, I think this ending thing was about Shinlan. I don't know. I think she has a sister who died or got a boyfriend or something. I don't know. I think she just got a boyfriend. But like she used to be friends with her sister, and then her sister got a boyfriend, and then you know, all that trauma, you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, episode 9 was also very emotional. I'm gonna warn you. Episode 9. Is that episode? What was episode 7? Okay, episode 7. Okay, I was like, are we already on episode 9? Because episode 7 was the mountain hike and them going to the planetarium. You sound like you need some more peach drink. We're almost at the end of this. Episode 9 is like, episode 9 and like 12 are like the most of my notes, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it was the planetarium and the hiking and the Chainlon and Gujo. And then episode 8 was the vibes, and then episode 9 was like very like weirdly emotional. But which is makes it hard to talk about, but I will do my best. Anyway, so we start with a scene of Gujo, Chainlon, and Ibuki doing a kampai, doing a cheers, and then Ibuki's like, I gotta get over my trauma, and then like serious music plays, and like there's like these weird like cloudy visuals of her like trying to like reliving her trauma and trying to move past it, and then she just takes a effing gulp and just like, yay, I did it. And then but she's like, okay, I like it, but and she's like, I like it, but I have more fun when I drink with Botan, though. To the dismay of the doomed Yuri. To the dismay of Gujo, who's like, wow, I finally got Ibuki to drink with me, and she's not even effing happy about it. That's fucked up. I got what I wanted, but I didn't get what I wanted at the same time. And this is why I said that I think they're in a programming class. That's like C language is what this says. C Kengo, which means C language, and this says Java, and then this says Python. And also this word just says programming, which means programming. So that's what I'm assuming they're in school for. They don't talk about it a lot. They just kind of like make a vague reference to it. Anyway, so then Botan and Ibuki go on a mountain cabin retreat, and a lot of things are implied, but they don't actually like happen on screen. So I'm from now until the end of episode 9, this is just what I think happened in this episode, not what actually happened in this episode. So they go on they're like, oh, it's finally almost autumn, you know. Time sure flies, doesn't it? And then Botan is like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. We can talk later, it's fine, don't worry about it. And Botan gets the episode where she gets awkwardly quiet the entire time, probably because she's thinking about her conversation with Chainlon. I still feel a little racist every time I say her name. I'm sorry. But she's thinking about her conversation with Chainlon and like wondering like, what is she leading Ibuki on? Should she progress this relationship? I don't know. She doesn't want to ruin their friendship, obviously. So Ibuki's like, yay, I'm so happy to be going on a trip with my friend and being able to go drinking. And Botan is just like awkwardly quiet the entire time. Anyway, they go to a effing beautiful fucking cabin, by the way. So like they have to get to it for like a little bridge, and then when they get inside, there's like a little outside patio area, and then like in the inside like windowed area that like opens up to like a little like chairs and a table by the window, which is really cool. And then downstairs is like a little like hangout nook with the bed. Like it's a very interesting like layout for a cabin. I know the way that I'm doing it, this feels like an adventure game. Where you click on this and then you go inside, and then you click on this and you go in here, and then you click on this and you go downstairs. Anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight the cabin that they got, which is very interestingly designed, and I wonder Did they just make that up, or is that actually based on like a real cabin somewhere? Because it seems like too specific of a design to like make up, but I don't know if it would actually exist in real life. I don't know. Anyway, so Botan at this point finally says like, hey, there's something on my mind that I need to talk to you about. And then we immediately have a brief intermission with Doomed Yuri. Where, you know, Gujo and Shinlon are going on a little vacation together, and Gujo's like, I wish I could be with Ibuki, and Shinlon's like, try to make the best out of it. Anyway, so after that quick intermission, you know, they don't immediately answer what the fudge. Hold on, I need a drink. I need a drink. I need water specifically. Okay, so they, again, like in the last episode where Chainlon was like, hey, are you dating? And then they don't answer that question for the next like 5 minutes. Botan's like, hey, I have something to talk to you. And then they just kind of don't talk about it for the next couple minutes until we actually get the onsen scene where they're like going to where they're going to the hot spring bath, and it's like overlooking the mountain, and it's very pretty, and they're having, and then we finally get the scene trademarked. Hold on, I'll show you a preview of my notes, because the way that I wrote it down is way funnier than I could possibly say it. So yeah, after a lot of quiet scenes and detour for Doomed Yuri, we get the scene trademarked. I'm funny. Again, I just do things to entertain myself a lot of the time. But, you know, while I have this technology, I might as well show you what I have wrote down. Anyway, where, basically, what the fuck is going on? Ibuki wonders how much longer they can continue drinking as friends. And then there's like this scene, there's like this like metaphorical scene that's also happening at the same time where Botan and Ibuki are standing in a space ocean, and then Botan with effing tears in her eyes, where, you know, to Ibuki's question of like, I wonder how long we can continue drinking as friends, because, you know, this has to end at some point. And Botan with tears in her eyes says, well, then let's stop being friends. She says that word exactly. She says those words exactly. Let's stop being friends. Tomodachi yamero. And then they get really close. And then they hold hands. And then and then Ibuki's like, yeah, I agree. Let's stop being friends. And she's also crying too. But they're also smiling at the same time while they're crying. And then also this happens too. And then they're holding hands. And then in the parallel universe that's happening at the same time, in the space ocean, they're holding hands too, and then that's the end of the episode. What the fuck? I think that's a confession scene. I think they're officially dating now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I think it's a confession scene is my interpretation of what happened. Whoa! Because they're both smiling and crying in real life, but at the end they're holding hands on the space beach. And also I think they kissed at the end? I don't know. I don't know what I watched. I don't know how to describe what I watched, but it was beautiful and I love it. And anime is awesome. If you end up going through all of this and not watching any episode, I highly recommend just watching episode 9. Because episode 9 is like a good one-off episode to just get the general vibes of what this series is. Because, like, it's fucking crazy. without like just spoiling the full episode, because I would say 12 is also a good episode, but that's like the literal last episode. So yeah, I don't know what to think of that. They definitely kissed here, right? And they both said, oh, you know, if we can't continue, you know, being together as friends, but we still want to be together, then let's stop being friends. End of sentence. Again, I came into this expecting a normal Yuri anime, and then I was swiftly reminded that there is no such thing as a normal Yuri series. Absolutely no such thing. No such thing exists, sorry. All Yuri shows, all Yuri series are weird and fucked up. Anyway, episodes 10 to 12. I'm getting a little lightheaded. I don't know if that's the peach drink or I've been passionately talking about Yuri anime for 2.5 hours straight. But who knows, man. Anyway, we're starting off the episode with some doomed Yuri. Where Gujo is like looking at a where they're like in an art exhibit, and Gujo is looking at a painting of two feminine looking hands holding hands. Two feminine looking hands holding hands. I know what I said. And feeling sad, and then Gujo, again, I wish I could make faces like this at people in real life. But anyway, Gujo and Chinlan are having a conversation about art that could be interpreted multiple different ways. Because Gujo says that she can't understand certain art pieces without outside analysis. Because she can't, like, quote, see for herself, and she doesn't trust her own sensibilities. So she's like, is it okay for me to, like, not understand the art that's happening in front of me? And need to rely on outside sources, like analysis and, like, what people online are saying, or, like, art critics are talking about? Like, is it okay that I can't, you know, just see it naturally myself? And is it okay that I don't trust my own sensibilities? And Chinlan says that it's okay, that she thinks it's okay to rely on support like that, because, like, you know, that kind of, like, you know, people do that analysis because, you know, art and stuff like that is not super easy to parse, and that's why that exists, and it's okay to rely on support networks. What they're actually talking about is, also, what are these eyes? I've never seen anime eyes drawn like this before. It's very interesting. Unrelated note. But yeah, so what they're actually talking about is how, Gujo can't or doesn't want to understand Botan and Ibuki's relationship because doomed love triangle. Because she immediately says, like, oh, you know, how can I rely on support networks when the truth is I just don't understand, and maybe I don't want to understand. And again, using lots of weird metaphors, but that's essentially what she said. That's not, like, word for word what she said, but that's essentially what she said. Is like, you know, I just don't understand it at all. But, so that can be they can be talking about that, but also, considering how abstract and difficult to parse this show itself is, it also might have been like a meta commentary where, like, yeah, if you don't know what the fuck's going on in the show, then maybe look up online and do some research and try to rely on some support networks to analyze things. People like me, except I don't know what the fuck's going on either. Cause normally, listen, normally I'm like, oh yeah, I get it, I can understand anime. It's like, it was like this and like parts of Oshinoko that have just like absolutely broke me, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what's going on in the show. Oh yeah, and Bloom Into You. Bloom Into You was also a more recent example of like, I think this is what happened, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think they're having a meta, like, double entendre, innuendo, double meaning of Gujo saying that, you know, she can't understand art and doesn't trust her sensibilities and needs to rely on outside information to understand arts. And either she's talking about not understanding what's going on with Ibuki and Botan, or the viewers of this show not understanding what's happening in this show. Because this is a reminder, this is right after the Space Beach confession scene, by the way. Like, literally, this is like the first scene of the next episode. Like, after whatever the fuck happened in episode 9, this is what immediately followed it. So I think the double meaning is intentional. So that's funny. Anyway. Oh god, here we have another fucking... I'm sorry if my analysis is not going to be super accurate for the rest of the series, but I understand the last scene. That's all I got. Anyway, so later on, Gujo and Shinlan are talking, and they're speaking in a lot of metaphors, like talking about like movie directors and whatnot. I feel like Biffy would be able to understand the scene better than I would, to be honest, because I have no idea like names of directors and whatnot. But basically, Gujo asks like, "Hey, is there anyone that you like?" Hee hee. Just kidding. You don't have to answer that. And then Shinlan gets all flustered, and then she admits like, "You are the one that I like. I like you, Gujo." And then we go back to the fucking Space Beach for some fucking reason. And then in response to that, they like, "Oh, I like you, Gujo." Gujo's like, "Do you..." Somebody at some point says something about do you want to journey into the unknown abyss with me? And then Shinlan is like, "Oh, you know, there's an old quote for sailors of like, oh, no matter how rough and unpredictable the sea is, you know, they can't resist, you know, shoving out and going out to sea. So I feel that way with you, Gujo." And then Gujo, like, again, lighting is very nice, and scene transitions and esoteric talking. And then she smiles, and I think now they're dating, I guess? I don't fucking know, dude. Shinlan said, "I like you," and Gujo's response was, "Are you able to brave the rough seas and go out to sea with me?" And she basically says yes, and then Gujo smiles, and then it cuts to this shot of this eye catch of them lying on a flower bed and holding hands. So I think they're a couple. I don't know. You're not gonna get any straight answers out of this show, I'll tell you that for sure. I've been asking everybody all day what LGBTQ means, and no one will give me a straight answer. Anyway, I think they're dating now. I don't know. Don't worry about it. I wasn't expecting straight answers when I came in this stream. Okay, as long as we're on the same page. As long as we're on the same gay fucked up page, then we're all good. Anyway, we have a nice little scene with Yusa and Yaika, where Yaika is the blonde girl who looks like Frenda here. Speaking of Index, yes, I know, you don't have to tell me. But yeah, Yaika is like, "Oh, you know, Yusa always drags me wherever, you know, I'm always going to places she wants to go. And I don't know if she really cares about me." And then they have a little flashback, and then Yusa plays Yaika's favorite song, and Yaika's like, oh my gosh, as I like this shot. It's good. It's pretty. Of her like turning around and realizing, hey, that's my favorite song. And then she goes over and then sits down and then they sing the song together and it's cute. It's cute. Again, I'm assuming they've been a thing for a while because they have like falter in their relationship a lot. Like when they're introduced, they're fighting, but they always come back to like, hey, you know, we mean a lot to each other, and you know, even if we fight, we value our relationship. So that's nice. And train. I don't know why I took a picture of this. I think I was like, and that's the end of episode 10. Oh yeah, no, this is why. Okay, because, okay, first of all, because the train was a ongoing thing that happened in Bloom into You, so maybe that's why. But I wanted to point out that that's where episode 10 ends. It does the ending credits, and then there's a 4-minute long post-credit scene of just this camera angle. It's like an unbroken shot. Again, something that's very easy to do in live action, because you just put a camera down, hit record, and then don't stop. But like here you have to like animate this whole thing. But like, yeah, so like Botan is, this is like through the POV of Ibuki, and Botan is basically talking to Ibuki, and then later Yusa comes in and like, hey, let's do some drinking, and then Shinran comes in, and then Yusa's like, hey, there's a quote that I really like on this bottle from Eric Dolphy? Is Eric Dolphy a real musician? But she says in English, when you hear music, after it's over, it's gone in the air. You can never capture it again. By Eric Dolphy. Is that an actual quote by an actual person? Nope, Eric Dolphy is a real person. Not cause of death. Nope, that's real. I looked up. It's on A to Z quotes. When you hear music, after it's over, it's gone in the air. You can never capture it again. That's a real effing quote. Okay. Anyway, unrelated. But yeah, I'm just impressed that they just have like this long, unbroken, uncut scene. And then finally the ending gag is Ibuki's not even there. She's visiting her parents. And she's just here in video call. And sad that everyone's drinking her fancy alcohol without her. So that's funny. Is this still episode 10? No, this is episode... Oh, we're not gonna do that yet. Hold on. Hold the fuck on, you didn't see that. Anyway, we get an, we get a nice scene. Episode 11 is really fucking weird, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Because we get this scene, we get a very long and awkward scene of Shinran just waiting at a restaurant because apparently Gujo was 20 minutes late to their dates. But Shinran's like, oh, I didn't mind waiting. Actually, it was kind of fun waiting. The anticipation of being able to see you was nice. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of, that's a little sweet. And then they, like, this place is really interesting. There's like an aquarium, and the camera like goes inside the aquarium like for like large swaths of their conversation. So that's cool. Anyway, then we get to a scene where Ibuki and Botan are going like clothes shopping because it's getting winter soon, and they need winter outfits. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What fucking clothing store is this? Where you have a little fucking escalator going through a garden that's fucking full of mannequins hanging from the ceiling. if I just wandered into a random clothing store and this was the entranceway, I would have a nightmare in real life. I'd be like, I'm having a nightmare. For my notes, the only note that I took for episode 11 was, can we find whoever did the backgrounds for episode 11 and call them and ask if they're okay? Cause like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? And they spend like a long time on this escalator. It's not even like an escalator. It's like a treadmill thing. A little conveyor belt thing, but it's just slanted upwards. But like, why are the people hanging from the ceiling? Is this really who was in charge of this background? Because this is creepy as fuck. I mean, mannequins in themselves are already kind of creepy, but like, this is just even creepier. And then they get to the fucking perfume section of the store, and it looks like this, and it looks like fucking like a white back, like a yellow puce background with just like Colin. Like, this looks like something out of Madoka Magica. I don't fucking know, man. And then they have a conversation about perfumes, and then we have a good face here where Ibuki says some dumb thing. And then it's, if you thought it was creepy at full night lights, then you're gonna love it when it's at sunset. And then they finally, you know what the fucking creepiest part? They don't even acknowledge this until this point, where they're on their way back. And they're like, oh yeah, these mannequins are the same ones that were wearing the clothes that we saw for sale. That's interesting. And I'm like, that's the interesting thing about these fucking mannequins? Not the fact that they're strung up from the ceiling? Anyway, Botan has a thought that nothing ever comes up because it's the second to last episode and there's not enough time for it. But, Botan starts to consider the fact that maybe her girlfriend is an alcoholic. Because they're like, oh yeah, you know, I have a lot of fun when I'm drinking with Botan, but like, is it just because I'm drinking? Is she only fun when she's drinking? Does she have a drinking problem? I don't know, we'll worry about it later. Can we talk about the fucking horror show that's going on in this department store? And then there's this, which already looks fucking weird in a screenshot, but I have multiple screenshots because I want to let you know that the wall is moving. That the wall is just constantly like static moving during this shot. And like, there's, what the fuck? What is this? What is this? Why is there a spiral staircase and static walls and a fucking spotlighted bunny and I don't know, and then they go to a fucking hookah bar where the room is like a circular colander, not a colander, a circular pillar that is just like infinitely tall, and in the middle there's hookah things. Because is that even legal? Is that even, what's going on? And anyway, they smoke hookah together. And it like bubbles, and I don't know what hookah is. They don't explain. I thought it was like some sort of like way to do cocaine or something. I don't know anything. I wish I could make this face at people in real life. Let me just look up hookah bar. What is hookah? Wikipedia. Is a single or multi-streamed instrument for heating, venting, vaporizing, and smoking either tobacco or flavored tobacco, sometimes cannabis, Hanish, and opium. Okay, I'm assuming they're just smoking tobacco. Because I'm assuming they wouldn't make an anime where, hey, I have an idea, I make this cute girls do cute things show, and then the second to last episode, they do opium. But now that I think about it, I think they did specifically say that this is tobacco. And then they're just like talking about the relationships and Yusa says that she wants to lose herself in her art, and then that like sticks out with Botan being like, is there anything that I want to lose myself in? And then she thinks of her girlfriend Ibuki. And then they have this like walk where you don't see the ground, it's just sky, which is, honestly the most normal background in this effing episode. Listen, there are plot progressions that happened here, but I could not think of it for the life of me, because like all I could think of are the backgrounds of the fucking horror show of this escalator scene and this Madoka Magica ass perfume parlor, and this nightmare spiral staircase. If I have a nightmare tonight about this, then you'll know exactly why. If they wandered into the fun back rooms or something. This is something I would think that would be like in the back rooms or something. I have no idea, dude. And then they go to the hookah place. Like, I don't know, man. This shows, we gotta find who did the backgrounds for episode 11. Because the backgrounds in this show have been otherwise pretty normal and realistic. Like, yeah, see, like, this is just like, a cafe or like a bar or, I mean, they've had some esoteric visuals before, but for the most part, it's been relatively grounded in real life, and I don't know if I would call whatever the fuck's happening here grounded in real life. Whatever, last episode, let's go. The last episode is another one that is super pretty and emotional, so that makes it very hard to talk about, but again, I will do my best. So the scene starts with this hallway that's all windows, which they've been in a couple of times, and I like it. But yeah, basically, Botan is sad because the earrings that she and Ibuki said, remember back in like episode 2, I think? It was either 2 or 3. They went to that clothing store that was also a bar, and they said that they would get matching earrings. And then now Botan is getting a call saying like, yeah, sorry, we sold out of our last pair of those earrings, so we can't sell them to you. And Botan is very sad about it. And then suddenly, oh yeah, there's also this like scene where like they get up at the crack of dawn to see the sunrise over this mountain, and it's very atmospheric and pretty. And we have lighting changes that are very fun. And then Botan's like, the winter makes me so sad because it's so lonely. And then Ibuki's like, oh, look over here, the winter cherry blossoms are blooming. See, winter's not so lonely. And Botan's like, that's my gal. I don't know. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. Yeah, it's suddenly winter. Don't worry about it. I know in like 2 episodes ago, they were like, oh, it's the beginning of fall, but now it's winter. I know last time I talked about a slice of life show rushing through all the holidays. I criticized it for that, but here it kind of makes sense. Just because, like, they spent most of the season in one season. They spent most of the series in one season, and it's all about, going outside and going on trips and exploring the world. So a change in scenery or a change in season makes sense. Anyway, so they talk about Kujo and Ibuki have a nice little, like, one last conversation together where they're like, oh yeah, it's almost Christmas. What do people in Christmas do in Japan? And Gujo's like, oh, you know, couples buy gifts for each other. And Gujo's like, ooh, what if we picked out books for each other? Wouldn't that be cool? Because it's like almost Christmas and we are wink, 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 wink. So, Qinglan got Gujo a book called Love as Practice. Very on the nose, Qinglan. And then Gujo got Qinglan a stamp book. Or not a stamp book, a postcard book. A book that includes a lot of postcards. And Gujo basically says, like, I want to learn more about you. So please write about yourself and send me these postcards. And also maybe she's talking about how sad it's going to be when she goes back to Taiwan. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Anyway. Last major scene of the series. I don't even remember what you said to, by the way. I just noticed that your last message is Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, I think it was to the horror show of the hanging mannequins. Anyway. Botan and Ibuki go on a winter trip. Again. Vibes. Immaculate. And then, Botan is like, hey, Ibuki, what do you want to do first? And she's like, I know exactly what I want to go do first. There's a place that sells a bunch of different kinds of sake. And, Botan just looks at her like this. It'll be like a fucking course you do. Again, is my girlfriend an alcoholic? I don't know. Is she a problematic alcoholic? I think is the better question. Anyway, so they go to this sake sampler vending machine thing, where basically you can get a cup and you put in a coin and it gives you like a cup of alcohol and you can sample from like all these different kind of things. It's one of those things that I have heard it before. I think it was like in a Abroad in Japan video. But I've never actually been to one before. But I shared it sounds fun. I like their boots, by the way. Very stylish. I just like all their different outfits in general. And I like Ibuki's different colors that she's got going here, like black and tan, and her pink ass hair. Anyway, this is also one of those shows where I'm like, are the characters having weird hair colors canon or not? Because sometimes in anime, they're like, whoa, you have blue hair. That's weird. You can't do that. Like in that last show that I was talking about, Ganbate Nakamura-kun, one of the characters has like brown hair and gets made fun of for it. Because they're like, wow, you have brown hair. That's not natural. Did you dye it? And he's like, no, it's natural. I promise. And then also the same thing happens in Bleach. But here, just like characters have pink and blonde hair and nobody says anything about it. Same thing with Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi is like supposed to be like this background character that nobody notices and kind of just fades into the background and is antisocial and nobody notices her. But also she's the only person in the entire world with bright pink hair. Like, what the fuck? So I think it's just one of those instances where like the characters having weird hair color is just like not canon or like normal in this universe. Anyway. So, here's the scene. You thought that was the scene before? This is the scene part 2. I.e. like the final scene outside of the post-credit scene. So, they get to their little hotel and Ibuki is already raiding the fridge for the beer. And Botan's like, hey, we can do that later, can't we? And by the way, this go 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 is the same intimidating aura that's in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I said JoJo's Bizarre Adventure! I said your favorite word! Jingle jingle jangle! Anyway, so they go to they go to the bedroom and they notice that, oh, the beds are pushed together. Woo! And then Botan sits down on the bed and be like, hey, come sit next to me. And then she's like, oh, you know, I wanna be closer with you. And then she's like, what do you mean? Do you mean like, you know, like we wanna have a conversation? Girl don't want no have no conversation. Girl don't want no have no conversation. She is beyond conversations at this point. And then right before they're about to do whatever they're about to do, Ibuki says that she's not ready yet. And then Botan's like, fuck you mean by that? do you not remember the we held hands on the space beach? You remember that? And then they do bring up the fact that like, oh, if we said that we're not friends anymore, but like, what are we? I don't know. Anyway, Ibuki said that she's, quote, not ready yet, and then pulls out the fucking earrings from her purse. And it turns out it was her that bought the last pair of earrings because she wanted to give it to Botan's special. And she's like, I don't want... Okay, she pulls out the pair of earrings and says that she wants the two of them to pierce their ears together before they, quote, go any further. So then she pulls out the earrings and then a set of disposable ear piercers. And then she's like, okay, you know, before we go any further, let's pierce our ears together. And then she's like, you can do me. And then Botan's like, oh, and then afterwards you can do me too. And then they hug, and then it fades to black, and that's the end of the show. It's so sweet. And then I don't have any screenshots of it, but then in the post-credit scene, like in the ending scene, they're wearing matching earrings, and then they're like in the train heading back home, and they're talking about how they reserved aged sake, where it'll be like in storage for 5 years, and you can pick it up 5 years from now when it's like aged. And they're like, oh, I wonder if we'll be together. And they're like, yeah, no, we'll definitely be together. And they smile. They're wearing matching earrings, and they definitely had sex. Please, I need this. You don't just be like, hold on, before we go any further, I wanna have matching earrings before we, quote, go any further. And you saw. You can't tell me. This is an E-rated television show, but you can't tell me that. Anyway, whatever they did, it was so fucking sweet. Because Botan was like, okay, I respect your feelings, and I only ask you once, and if you say no, I won't like force you into it. Even though she made this disappointed face, she's like, I respect your decision. But Ibuki's like, oh no, it's not that I want to stop. I just want to, you know, do this before we go any further. And they pierce each other's ears, and they have matching earrings, and it's so goddamn fucking sweet. I'm gonna die of diabetes. Okay, I was gonna continue that bit until I got back to the first episode, and then I was gonna do the ending thing, but this is taking way too gosh dang long, and I can't stop talking for that long. You don't understand? What happened in this ending? What happened? I have more questions than answers. I need somebody who is, I don't know. I need a season 2 because I feel like there's a lot of like things that they brought up but didn't necessarily like fully expand on. That I think a season 2 could maybe do more with. Okay, let's officially switch the topic over. Whoop. Ending. Please stop snapping to random parts of the image. So, the show is good. I don't know if it's weird. The show is weird, but it's very good. It's still crazy to me, like, how much this show sucked me in, and like how it basically shifted and combined genres without me even noticing. Because it wasn't until the end where I'm like, this is a lot more intense than like the first couple episodes. And like going through this analysis, I was like, yeah, no, like episode 1, 2, and 3 were weird, but they were relatively straightforward slice of life. And then like episode 5 had the started having a little bit more like intense scenes with a doomed love triangle Yuri. And then when Qinglan came in, like she's pushed the plot forward a lot. And then like episode like 8 and 9 were like super like, I don't know, it's just very interesting how like none of this felt forced, by the way. It never felt like, oh, we were watching a slice of life show and now we're watching a completely different show with different priorities. But like if you compare the first episode and the last episode, they do feel different. They are definitely the same show, but they do feel different. So like I'm just very like, again, as someone who's been watching anime for like 15 plus years at this point, I very much appreciate when an anime is willing to go out there and do something weird and interesting and experimental and actually like land it and like be really cool and interesting and good. And I love anime so much. Anime is so good. And I like use the power, the unique medium of anime to like create a certain feel and impression and like say things without outright stating them. Like on the space beach, like where I'm like, yeah, I guess they officially started dating there, but they never made it like official. They just like, I don't know, and I guess I don't know, man. Anyway, I love the characters and their relationships. I love all the unique storylines that each episode told. Like each episode felt like very unique tone-wise. Like again, standouts are like episode 8 and 9, and then 11 with the weird backgrounds, and then episode 1 and 2 with the, or episode 2 and 3 with the weird art style shift. I love how wholesome Ibuki and Botan's relationship is. Like there's a lot that I like about this show. So if I have to score it, that's when things get complicated, because it's really hard to score a show like this, because the way that I view my scores basically is that they're all comparative. So like, you know, like a 1 wouldn't be like the worst anime in the entire world, just like the worst anime that I have seen, and a 10 being the opposite, the best anime that I have seen. And I kind of just like view them as like an invisible ranking. So it's really hard to give this show a number, because it's unlike any show with any number attached to it already. Because most I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I felt this way about the show and it kind of reminded me of this, so I'll put it into this category with these other shows that also made me feel this way about it. But if I, you know, my everything needs to be in a neat list and numbered and organized part of my brain, if I have to give into that part of my brain, I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. If only because, like, as good as the show is, I don't think it's, like, as quite as deep or powerful as any of my 9s out of 10 are. Because again, they do a lot of like walking around the topic without actually like talking about the topic, so the show can kind of end up feeling like it's giving me more questions giving me more questions than actual answers, if that makes sense. Where my 9s are more like solidly like, this is about this thing. But again, that could change over time. There's been some shows where like I rewatch it and I'm like, oh, now I understand this show and I view it a lot higher. Like, you know, famously, we were just talking about ReZero. I think I gave ReZero like a 6 or a 7 when I first watched it. But then on the rewatch, I gave it like a 9. Or at least an 8. I bumped it up to I might have given it a 9. And then same thing happened with Kobayashi's Maid Dragon. I think I gave it like an 8 when I first watched it. And on a rewatch, I'm like, holy shoot, I love this show so much. And I gave it a 10. So maybe if I rewatch this show in a couple of years, or if it gets another season, I could see that score going up. But I feel like right now, an 8 is a fair place to put it. But again, it's hard to compare. It's really good. If you haven't watched it and me ranting about it hasn't spoiled it, because like I could talk about this effing show until the heat death of the universe. Get it? Because I live on the sun and that's the star is gonna explode, whatever, you get the idea. So I could talk about the show until the heat death of the universe and still not convey like the emotions that you get when you actually watch the show. Which I guess answers that one philosophical question. Because there was like the one philosophical thing where it's like, okay, if you raised a child in complete black and white, like it's a closed room where there's no color on anything, everything is black and white, there's no color anywhere, and you gave them a bunch of books explaining what color is, and they know all of the science behind it and, you know, the cultural significance of each color, and they like learn everything you can learn about colors without actually looking at a color. And then at that point, you let them into the outside world and they see color for the first time. Do they learn anything? Do you at that point learn anything about color? Because you've already learned all there is to learn about color, but you haven't physically experienced it. So does physically experiencing a color give you more information if you've already learned everything that there is to learn about color? I would say yes. I would say that you can understand something like intellectually, like me talking about anime is like understanding it like intellectually, but without actually having seen the show for yourself, you are missing the emotional impact of the word, or of the, not the word, of the show. I said word because I was thinking about a future train of thought I was gonna have. Because I remember that with Japanese too, where like, you know, I learned, okay, this word, densha, means train, gotcha, memorized, but it wasn't until I actually heard the word densha used in context that I really, like, felt that I understood what the word meant. Because, even though densha and train are basically the same word, they still have, like, different contexts that they're used in and different emotions that they're spoken in. The densha is a weird example, but you get the idea. Basically, I think I am a believer that there's a difference between intellectually understanding something and emotionally understanding something. Anyway, I'm at a peach drink, so this is gonna be the end of the show. I hope you all enjoy. If you're wondering what is the next anime discussion, I should have pulled up that clip. Pull up that Family Guy clip of them saying it's nothing. Because I'm going to be taking a small break from anime discussions for a little bit. Do not worry, it will not be another 11 months. I will not do that again. because I like talking about anime, and that was not an intentional thing. But I am in a similar situation where I can only stream like twice a week, and also work has been very stressful, and so it's hard to like consistently watch anime. Like a lot of the time, like I had to delay this a week because I was 2 weeks came and then I hadn't finished watching the show yet. So because like work has just been stressful, so I've just been coming home from work and just falling asleep. like literally sometimes. But you know, I'm learning to take better care of myself. It will not be for too much longer. The only reason I'm sticking through this job and not quitting on the spot is because it's only gonna be until, I mean, I'm not gonna change jobs, but the client that I'm working with is going back to like boarding school in the middle at around September, so it will not have to be that long. So probably next anime discussion will be around September. I'll at least announce the next anime discussion by the end of September. Actually, by the end of September might be talking about seasonal anime again. Although we do need to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. We'll figure it out. But yeah, yeah, taking a break from anime discussions. Won't be another 11 months. Work is stressful, hard to consistently watch anime. And also, I want to catch up on Attack on Titan before the new game comes out in December. And I'm not doing a discussion series of Attack on Titan because I just have the final season to watch, and it would be very awkward if I just did an anime discussion on the final season. But I will talk about Attack on Titan when I play the new game that comes out in December, because that game actually looks really cool. Because I remember when I played the first Attack on Titan game on 3DS and thought it was really effing boring and bad. And then every Attack on Titan game they've made since then has just seemed the same. But they announced this Attack on Titan game, or they showed off this Attack on Titan 3 at Anime Expo, I think. And they showed off like a lot of really cool things about it, and it looks really fun. As a custom character creator, and there's like, it's more open. It's not just like, because like the problem with the 3DS Attack on Titan game was it was a lot of just like, it felt like quick time AAA, hold forward and hit the A button and the character will do the cool cutscene kind of game. But there seems to be like a lot more like gameplay mechanics and stuff in the new one, and a lot more like moving around and like stealth and navigating a field and like actually using momentum physics and whatnot. So anyway, the new Attack on Titan games looks good. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I need to finish the final season, because back in like in 2020 when the penultimate season finished airing, the final season finished airing, and then they immediately announced the final season part 2, and then the final season part 3, and then the final season for real this time, and then the final season for real this time part 2. So I was just like, you know what, F it, I'll just wait until it's all done and then I'll watch it. And now it's all done, and it's like 28 episodes and like 2 movies I have to watch. So yeah, anyway, but I will be back, and we'll be watching Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe catching up on Bleach, and also doing summer 2026 anime. So we'll end it. If you have made it this far, congratulations. Thank you so much for making it through me rambling about gay anime. For especially the first half, I was a little buzzed for it. I could definitely tell that I was a little more incoherent than usual for the first half of this stream. But if you have gotten to this point and you have any anime from the summer 2026 season, i.e. the current season, that you want me to watch, please let me know, because I need to narrow down my list because I have too many on my list currently, and I need to narrow it down. So if I know what people are interested in, then I know what to prioritize. Anyway, I just realized that my tummy really hurts, so I'm gonna end the stream. Tomorrow's stream, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Maybe Wild Blue Skies, because that came out like a couple days ago, and I think that's like a one-off stream, but we'll figure it out. But I hope you enjoy. Sorry that I've not been streaming a lot, but hopefully I'm getting Lasham Mula, and my current schedule at work will only be until around September, so it will not be too much longer. So thank you for your patience. And also, I saw all the Kingdom Hearts 4 stuff, and I'm so excited! I'm so goddamn excited! You have no idea. I was really debating playing all the Kingdom Hearts games before 4 came out, but I have like a year. I don't know if I can do that, and there's also other series that I want to play and other games, so I think I might, but I'm definitely excited for Kingdom Hearts 4. You can play as Mickey in an actual gameplay section and not just as a one-up. It's awesome. And he's going through like a book, and it's like a whole different video game, and they got a Cocoa world, and I'm like, that makes 100% sense. I love it. And I love how they had a little bait and switch with like how they announced it. They started the trailer with like, yes, they announced Cocoa 2, and then they're like, oh, and you know, if you ever wanted to explore the world of Cocoa yourself, please look at this trailer. And it looked like just a trailer for like, it looked like just footage from the first Cocoa movie. But then Heartless showed up, and Sora showed up, and people went crazy. That was crazy. And also there's an anime, quote unquote, happening. Like Tetsuya Nomura is a part of it, but also it seems to be a very like Western-based production, but they're still calling it an anime. But like, what is an anime? I don't know. Don't worry about it. But anyway, whether or not that's an anime or not, I'm still excited about it because I like Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, I don't know why I went on this tangent. Yeah, let me know what anime you want me to cover, especially currently airing anime of the summer 2026 season. And I might watch Chainsmoker Cat just so I can see Tails the fox have a cocaine addiction. Because Tails' voice actor is in the dub of that. Anyway, not important right now. I hope you all enjoyed. More streams soon. Support art, support artists. Take care of yourself, be kind to others. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Have a good rest of your times. And until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags. I hesitated there because I thought of something I wanted to say, but I'm like, I'll say it next time. I'll say it at like the beginning of the next stream if I don't forget. Okay, bye! I love you all!